Welcome back, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
We are on episode 5.
And that's on charcuterie.
Don't start. So we're on the 5th episode. Today's episode will be on social media, and we have our special guest today.
Yay.
What up, y'all?
And we're gonna discuss the pros and cons of social media.
She didn't introduce herself.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
I mean, dang, I didn't think.
Yo, you gotta do the AKAs too. You gotta be like, I'm so and so, AKA.
Yep.
The
Dang,
Boston
all
AKA.
right, all right, y'all. I'm Lakeisha.
Mm-hmm.
I won't give you my last name because
No,
that's not
they
your
don't need
business.
that.
All right, AKA Black Coffee,
Mhm.
AKA Grace Clean Co,
Yes.
AKA the other half of the money shot.
Period.
Period. AKA Malaya's mama.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a very important
Yes.
title.
That is a very important.
She
title.
will let you know that. Anyways, wait, what said to you? Okay, I know we don't want to jump straight into it, but maybe we can. The 2 to 3 friendly facts about yourself. Granted, you probably did that with your AKAs.
Well, before we jump into friendly facts, quick update. You know, if y'all haven't caught up on episodes 1 through 4, you should at this point. Especially we've had some amazing topics, and as always, if you guys have topics that you guys want us to discuss and jump into, no matter how uncomfortable it is, please share, because that's the purpose of our podcast.
Yeah.
So yes, now for our special guest, we have a few things that we want our viewers and listeners to know about you.
Oh God! Oh yes, you did tell me that. You know what's so funny about this kind of question? It's hard to answer because in my life right now at 33, I'm like now, like what do I like? What do I like?
That's a dope place to be in because it's like you're still like you're reinventing yourself. Like you're not the 20-year-old you anymore. So that's a good place to be. Don't feel bad about that.
And I love my 30s. So like,
oh my
just
God,
like
thank you.
The best.
I've been telling my nieces this all the time. Like
best.
30 is better than 20.
It doesn't compare to
Oh
your
my
20s
God!
at all.
Well, my 20s was real
Ratchet.
raggedy.
My shit was
Like I should be in
embarrassing.
I should be in a straight jacket with some white walls. Like
Yes.
genuinely,
Yep.
I should.
100%.
So like last year during quarantine, I think like most people, I took some time to just like, who the hell am I? After this whole after being in this raggedy ass relationship, who am I? Who am I? I came up with a couple of things. Other than the fact that I had a cleaning business for like almost 7 years now. But this business, this new one, is when I realized like how much I love to help people, how much of a philanthropist I am, which is my passion. I love philanthropy. I love giving people jobs. I love giving people money. I love giving people resources. So that's something about myself that I love. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
I love that.
Okay. Even though it's like overwhelming as hell. Quit your 9 to 5 for 24/7. On top of 24/7 being a mama.
Yeah.
And then relationships is like 24/7.
Yeah.
I love it though, but 24/7 though.
Yeah.
So
it's only 24/7 that gives you the support that you need when you don't have
And it's a good
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
Not
It
you
is a
losing
good-
your
I
I mean,
edges
I don't know what that feel like
24/7.
anymore. But y'all can talk on that. Y'all can touch on that.
I love the 24/7, especially because it's a healthy 24/7.
Yes.
My relationship right now is healthy AF. I'm so grateful because I be acting crazy sometimes. And that's okay though.
That's okay.
That's okay.
You're working through all
In a
of your
safe
shit.
space, it's okay to act
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Yes.
So, mom, serial entrepreneur. Fun fact, I want to learn to sing.
I'm not gonna learn this.
Oh, you wanna learn?
I want to learn to sing.
Okay.
It's like one of those things that's on my bucket list on top with learning to skateboard. I know, like different.
Can we talk about this because I'm about to say something mad embarrassing.
What?
I never learned how to ride a bike.
Oh, really makes me sad.
Why? I don't care.
No, it makes me sad because that's one of those things kids should learn.
100%, but I was like daddy's little princess, so I had like the Barbie car. He was like,
he's like, ride a
your
bike.
brother gets a bike, but you get in that Barbie car. Because I'm no.
It's like physical labor.
No, we don't do that here. I mean, granted, he could have done other things a lot better, but I never felt left out. I feel left out now when all my friends say, let's go on a bike ride. I'm like, count me out.
Wow.
We're not happening. Yeah.
My mom doesn't know how to ride a bike. She's 52. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
But
It's
she's
okay.
young 52.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't learned to ride a bike, and I tried to teach her once as a kid, and now my daughter's like, I'm gonna teach grandma how to ride a bike. I'm
That would be
like,
such a good bonding
Right?
experience.
It
I
would
love
be.
that for her.
I know. I
That's so
felt that for
cute.
her too, but my mom, she probably doesn't even care about it at this point. You know how that is.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm too old anyways. I don't care.
It's really for your daughter to have that memory, you know?
It
Yeah,
really
like I
is.
told grandma,
It
I
is.
ride a
I
bike.
try to teach my mom.
That's good.
Yeah. Other fun fact. I'm really into film. I actually am a writer, so I like writing plays and movies. I know. I do a lot of stuff. I like touch and go a lot of stuff. So I
You
write.
need people to act? Because I can try.
One day, yes. I
I'll be
actually
acting a damn fool.
acted in Yes.
Literally.
I've been an actress. I've been a model. I've done a bunch of stuff. So
I remember your model days.
I've been trying to figure out
I'm
myself
here
for a
for all
really
of this
long
right now.
Just
I'm like,
touch
that's
everything. See what you...
Yeah. So me meeting a photographer is like one of the best things. God, it's funny because I love taking pictures. Even though I told you I was like
Yeah.
still nervous,
Yeah.
I'd be like, how my feet look, how my legs
yeah.
look,
How my
face
shoulders look? Is my back straight?
Should I put my chin down? He'd be like,
Just do what you do.
Aggie, thank God for his patience.
Yeah.
But one day, I'm gonna have like a production company for film. I actually started one. It's called Poor Girls Productions. I did a short film.
Aww.
It's called. And listen to this. It's called Social. I can't remember the name, but social something. It was like social something, and it was just about like it was actually kind of like my life. It was
Really?
weird.
I'm
It
so
was a
here
short
for that. So
film.
I remember going through this like midlife crisis, I guess, when I was just like, I got out of a long-term relationship that was super toxic, and I was like
So draining.
sleeping. It was a lot. It was a lot. Anyways, I went to see this like, I guess she's a astrologer. I don't know what her official title is,
Sure.
but she's not a tarot card reader or whatever. But she basically said like, I was like, I struggle with like I'm jealous of people who are clearly identifying who they are as a person, right? I was like, damn, what does that feel like? What does that feel like to like, no, this is my purpose in life and that's it, and I'm gonna work towards that. I'm like, I like something today and I hate it tomorrow. And for me, I feel like that. And she said specifically, she's like, you're just a girl who reinvents herself consistently.
That's it.
And I'm like, no one's ever said that to me, and I never knew that was a space that I can be in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, you're not limited to just one thing. You're everything. You're all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
I
That's
want to
good.
do all the things that my heart desires.
All
If
of
it's
the
in my
things.
heart, I want to do it. Even if I did it once and was like, actually, I don't think I'm good at that. And that's it. That's like the biggest fun fact about me. I want to do
And
all
I hate
the
that there's
things.
age limits to certain things.
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh, you should
forget that.
have a clear identity of what you want to do in your 30s. No, I don't.
I want. Who said that though?
Old people.
Probably some old white
The same
man.
old people that keep
Okay.
telling me I need kids.
Okay.
Yeah, probably some old white man that said, you know, by
Someone said
by 29 you should have been married with
Yeah.
3 kids. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking up some new stuff to do when I'm in my 50s, 60s, and 70s.
And I'm here to support all of it.
That's
I want to see your short film. I want to see all
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh, I can't believe I forgot the name.
It's okay.
It was social.
It'll
it
probably
was
come back to you
social
later on.
district.
Like after we
No,
hit.
I know.
All right.
Right?
Bye, y'all.
Like it's literally on YouTube. I be like, ugh.
Yeah. No, it's
But
okay.
yeah, me and my best friend wrote it. We literally just found people on Craigslist to film it, edit it, and give us music.
Oh, that's nice.
Yo, it was actually really good. Most of my friends and I casted for it. It was bomb. Like I love film though. I love shooting. So like Instagram Reels are my favorite. TikTok.
I don't have patience for that shit.
Yeah.
I'm so.
I love it.
I know some of y'all have been telling me that I need to edit this a little better, and I got y'all. But when I have time. Okay.
You got time. It takes time.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
one of those
lot.
things you gotta have patience for.
Especially when you have a
and a
full-time
vision.
job,
And
you know?
yes.
So.
There's stuff to do. So I mean, that's my passion. I love to do all things, like all things.
All the
Yes,
things,
all
and
the
I'm
things.
here for
Like
all
I
of
want
it.
to paint. Like I went to the Van Gogh exhibit last
We're
weekend.
going.
We're going. Yes.
I saw that you
Yo,
went on your social. I saw
It
that.
was
It
like
was an
I was having a
experience.
hard week that week, and because his life was like a tragedy,
Yeah.
it just spoke to me, and I was just like, yeah,
You
like
see, they had one for Cola Frida.
No.
Bitch,
Oh yes,
that's
I
my
saw that they
bitch.
were doing one. I thought that they were. It was like a preview. Like this is
like
happening.
the tickets aren't out yet, but they're doing one, and I will be buying tickets. We will be going. We can go together. Fuck it.
I love
yes, me too. I'm so artsy. It's disgusting.
Yes.
Like the only business I got going is like it's very strategic. Like cleaning is the art of its own, but like. I'm artsy. Like I love being creative.
Yes.
Like I got some canvases at home waiting for me, paint. Like every once in a while, I'm like, I can get my paint bag.
Yeah.
Like let me see.
I feel like
just
that's
be
a
trying
good way
open
to
up.
decompress too,
Yeah,
right? Like you just get whatever you're feeling that day onto the canvas, and then you look at the canvas and like, oh, that day I was feeling this way. Like it'll show in the art, which I think is pretty dope.
I'm a Cancer. I'm all over the place.
I'm obsessed. What the fuck are we talking about today? I don't even know.
Right, what are we talking about?
Social media.
I love social media though. I
pros,
use it the right way.
The pros and cons of it. So,
Okay.
Jess, I know you're gonna pull up the questions.
Yeah, I got you, but we're just gonna touch on it
Slightly. So with social media, like, okay, we're from the generation where we didn't have it.
Yes.
Right? We're the
we were slowly integrated to all of our
technology.
advances.
Yeah, so slowly integrated. We were the generation where you were literally outside all damn day until your parents said, get your black ass in the house and go take a shower and go to bed. Right? So, I mean, back then, the villain was the television. Like, oh, you sit in front of the TV too long. Honestly, I prefer to watch TV. And I know there's some people who are big on not watching TV, but I like watching TV. But we're in that age group where we literally got to have friendships face to face. Like we communicated with people, but with social media, it's a good thing that you're communicating with people across the country, across the world that you probably would never get a chance to physically meet.
Or even having this connection right now.
Yeah.
Right?
So like social media has its pros. Like,
okay. First off, we didn't even mention this.
Go ahead. I was just thinking that out of my head. Like, hold on. Let the people know.
What happened?
Let the people know. She's about to say it.
That was a slow one. She's like, what happened?
She's about to say it.
Okay, I think we're on the same page. I'm like, I was just saying how social media has got us to connect in this form, but we have a connection from prior.
Yes.
We all went to middle school together.
Yo.
So
99 for the 2000s.
Come on. Yes.
Yes, we were all not
heads.
classmates, but for the most part.
No, we all graduated the same year.
We
But we weren't in the same class. But
I actually remember y'all was in 106.
I don't remember the classroom number.
I remember
you.
I remember the
106
homeroom.
and I remember now.
I don't remember.
Miss Mary.
I only remember.
Oh my God, yes. I didn't know her room number, but we all attended
in Park. That's the only
and
why
graduated from.
I wanted to be in that class.
I wanted to be in that homeroom so bad.
I think that was the youngest teacher we had in the whole school. Yeah, she was mad young.
That's true. Oh yeah, well we all attended Wilson Middle School, which no longer exists.
exists.
There's another school
Which is
in there right
whack as
now.
fuck.
The building is there, but it's another school that's in there. I mean, there's a lot of schools in Boston that the state took over and renamed, or they're just using the old building structures or whatever. But I don't know if you guys remember. Remember at one point, like the Thompson Middle School had this imaginary beef with us, and I'm like, and then they end up getting shut down first, and we're like, y'all
I remember. Ooh, this is a big
ghetto.
I had a beef with somebody that I went to elementary school. I don't even know how the beef started. It's so wet. I fucking hate school. Anyways, I knew this girl from elementary school. Went to the Milton, and of course she goes to the Thompson. Wow. And she was dead ass gonna come to the school and try to fight me. So I was like, all right, I'm missing the school bus today. And I sat there and missed the school bus and ain't nobody come up. I got home late, I got my ass whooped. So I got my ass whooped regardless. It just was by my mama. But yeah.
Yo, do y'all remember Angel?
Yes, I remember Angel because he was on my motherfucking bus. And I was obsessed.
Girl.
Wait, no, I don't remember.
Okay, no, that Angel I remember. He was cute. A mess, but
cute. And he was older than us. So.
Yes. I was going to say if you remember Angel, but I was going to say we had beef. It was like, okay, y'all remember Keon?
Yes.
Lord.
That was your
that, can I say nigga in this?
I've said it.
That nigga, he had me in beef for no. I was
in beef. You in a chokehold?
No, well, he had me in beef that I didn't even realize I was in beef with. Like the whole class, the whole homeroom 106. That's the only one of these reasons why I remember. It was like Angel, Barbara. And mind you, I'm not even good with names. I don't know last names, but I definitely remember names with people. Ernestine, like all of it, like just niggas want to fight me, and I'm just like, first of all, I'm scared to fight. My mother didn't teach. Nobody taught me to fight. Why y'all want to fight?
Definitely, me? I always say this too. I'm not a fighter, but I will fight.
I'm this, sir. This is what I do.
And I suck at that.
I run my mouth.
The minute I start having to have an argument with somebody and I stutter, I'm like, all right, now we gotta fight because you just embarrassed me.
No, not even stuttering. Once I feel hot in the face and a tear start coming from you angering me, we have to fight. I mean, I never really had beef with anyone per se, but the only fights I ever got into is because obviously my exes were involved with women that I weren't aware of clearly, and they come and attack me. Of course, I'm going to fight back.
What?
But never really like had any beef. But one girl, I guess if you want to call it bullying, like didn't like me for whatever reason and had people not like me. Like for no
that's
reason.
exactly how
what was her name?
I think all of my beef was that.
And for no reason didn't like me, and I thought we were cool. Like school year started. This is middle school, 6th grade. School year started.
Really?
And she didn't even last long in the school. She was only there for the 6th grade. She was part of our class, but we never sat next to each other. And the driver that used to pick me up from school, at one point I offered her. I'm like, hey, my driver's bringing me home. Do you want to ride home? And she was down the street, and she's like, yes. Dropped her off in front of her house. Went home, and then all of a sudden started this little rumor telling people that I was a lesbian. Mind you, 6th grade, I don't know what a lesbian was.
Right.
I didn't know nothing. And I'm like, but I knew it was something bad because girls were like, ew, like girls. I'm like, wait, what? When did that happen? Like, I kissed a girl or something that I wasn't aware of, or a girl kissed me, because I don't like women in that fashion. So I was highly offended and really hurt because I thought we were cool. And that was my first experience of
That's how you know this is a different day and age, because that's not cool to say that.
No.
Like today, that's like normal. Like
that's so normal. Some people even use it for like to be cool.
To be cool.
Yeah. So. But yeah, no, I didn't know
crazy.
you had beef. That's crazy.
Girl, I didn't know I had beef till one day it was like, oh, I'm not a beef type. Like, I like people. I always like people.
I don't like confrontation.
I don't like confrontation.
My closest friends know I don't like confrontation.
Honestly, I don't think anybody likes fighting. I think people.
Oh no, there's some people that love it. They're like, you want to fight?
It's like the popular girls love to fight. I was just like, why? y'all don't even remember my name.
Especially in the cafeteria.
If it wasn't for Keon,
dry-ass cheeseburger.
Like, if it's Keon, I can have it.
Like, for real, like, what happened? I don't understand. I don't even know how it started.
That's so wild.
But that nigga was a liar, so it could have been it could have went.
I mean, weren't they all? So,
I mean,
you know.
That's all they do.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but anyway, on to the next.
Back to
social media.
We're the group that we didn't have it.
Yeah.
We grew into it. I mean, I think my first encounter with it was what? Black Planet.
Baby! Come on, can we just give it up to Black Planet? Because Black Planet was before its time.
Yes.
I used to be on that thing. I'm telling you, I really love social media.
And they have Mahente. For the Hispanic people, they have Mahente.
No, I did not know what that was.
Yes, I did.
But
we have Black Planet. I remember Black Planet.
Black Planet, I used to love.
Yo.
Oh my God. I couldn't even believe
it.
My mom was not having that shit.
Yes.
I didn't have social media until MySpace. I didn't have
My mom didn't know nothing about social
Well,
media.
we weren't even calling it social media.
No,
we just said,
a website.
It's a website.
Or a chat room.
Yeah.
Once my mom heard chat room, though, she was like, shut it down. I stopped calling it that.
Yep.
I was in the AOL chat rooms.
Ooh,
I used to be like,
you know what was so funny? You're creating these
Before
creative away messages.
Before AOL chat rooms, there was what was that thing where you would call in and talk to random people?
Oh my God, the party channel!
Yo, that was my first social media.
We just weren't
calling it for real. Can I just pour out a little for the homie? I loved everything social media, social, whatever it was.
Okay, so we all have different perspectives. You actually enjoy it, right?
I enjoyed every second of it.
Really?
I don't know what made y'all choose me to come on today.
Well,
but this is
you
it for
literally
me.
were the first person I thought of when we picked up when we picked it up. I was like, oh, this would be like a bomb, because there's pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
And for the two of you, because you guys have started your own businesses, it's been all pros, right? It's helped you connect with people that you wouldn't connect with. It's helped you promote your business. It's helped all of that. But for me, I didn't have that. So social media was just more of like connecting with people and also being exposed to a whole bunch of shit. So I was just like, there's such thing as sensory overload. And for me lately, it's to the point where my brain cannot function. I'm like, Jessica, I think you just need to delete your apps for a few months, because I'm like, obviously I'll be on social media for uncomfortable growth, but there is, for 75 Day Hard, I really think I'm gonna
let that
that's fine. No, I totally agree with that. For me, I've just been the type of person, maybe because like how my father is, and I'm like kind of the same way. Like a lot of things don't faze me. but certain things do affect me, like more so like seeing other humans in pain that does affect me. Seeing people,
I'm very empathetic too.
Very empathetic. I may look mean or whatever, but
I am so sorry to cut you off, but I am so sorry to cut you off. We didn't even do like an intro of our week, but did y'all see that fucking video of that dude?
Bro.
That shit literally.
Yo. Okay.
Wait,
so,
what?
Okay,
What
me and you, I don't know if it's the couch.
It's the couch.
I don't know if it's the couch. I'm sorry.
I'm
because
disconnected.
Peggy is so
girl.
fucking glad.
No, wait. Before y'all drop y'all connection, and I'm lost because I'm not connected on the couch with y'all.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. So my thing is, what just happened here? Why isn't this recording?
Is it not recording? Don't tell me that.
Oh
Peggy.
dear, that shit stopped recording. Wait a minute.
Let's see when.
Oh, here we go.
It's the technical difficulties for me.
Right?
Anyways,
All right.
so we were talking about the social media thing. So
you said the update for the week. So
not necessarily update, but it's kind of like this
recap,
happened.
like what's going on in the
okay.
world.
Oh, this week was
homeboy
a hot mess though. Before that one, it's like, okay, very unfortunate. We've been seeing the trial on Kyle Witter, whatever. Now we know he's found not guilty. So who the hell killed those people? That's my question. Right. Then unfortunately, I wouldn't say the passing because he did just pass away. Someone killed him. Yeah. Rapper Young Dolph got shot. Yeah. Killed. Unfortunately, another black man taken away from his family, his children, and his life got taken away. Unfortunately. What else? This whole week's been ghetto. And then now with this man who attacked ex-girlfriend, and the video I saw it today.
It was it's
slightly triggering
for me.
Really triggering.
That's probably where it kind of cemented it for me that I need to get off social media.
Yes.
Because it really fucked with me all night. I was like, why did I watch the video in its entirety? One. Two, it was just like, there's so many variables. At first, I'm thinking, she's so calm. This is a normal behavior. Yeah. One. Yeah. Two, he's not cognizant of the fact that his newborn is in this bitch. Right there. And the most formative years of a child is 0 to 6 years. Yeah. So regardless if you think the baby is not comprehending, he might not understand what's going on, but he will definitely understand. Like, it will be ingrained in his brain to the point where it will pop up as he becomes an adult. And
in children, babies feel energies. Why do you think if you're not okay, the baby can sense that? Especially as a mom, your baby senses your energy. They're connected to you from the womb. So that's why it's very important what you do and say around a child. It can be very healthy or it can be very toxic, and that's why it's like you said, when she posted the video of herself saying, like, he attacked, she was super calm about it. And
not even that, in the midst of them fighting.
Yeah, she was very calm. Maybe because she didn't want to agitate him even more, so she spoke in a calm tone. Because
this is obviously not the first time.
It's not the first time, but some people, they say...
I would say that's why the cameras are set up.
Yeah, so, they say how, like, when you're yelling at someone... It doesn't help the situation. No. That riles the person up too. So those are the factors.
You know what? Sometimes being calm riles people up too.
And it's weird. It's you can't win.
No,
you can't win.
I just saw the video for the first time literally 2 hours ago.
I saw it this morning.
I've been off of social media just for work because of work, but my employee showed me, and I was like, oh girl, I can't watch that type of stuff. Yeah. Domestic abuse is something that triggers me.
That will be a conversation for a later date.
And we will have a trigger warning.
If you want to join that conversation, because
I've been in a domestic violence abusive relationship.
I too.
Are we about to change the conversation? Because
it could be a little.
I'm all good for changing the conversation. Honestly, we can fuck social media at this point.
Well, it goes with it because a lot of I appreciate that she shared it because it needs to be more aware. Like, look what the fuck is going on. That's the thing about social media.
So this is the thing too that I was saying. Men are always quick to talk about women. Women have safe spaces, right? Like, we have a safe space to have a conversation like this, right? We've gone through it. I've had friends who've helped me get through it. I remember, and this is so off topic, in my previous relationship, not the most current one, but the one before that, I remember I was just like, why am I with this man? I'm always fucking crying. I am always tired. I'm always fighting with this man. Yeah. And I was just sitting in front of the TV in the room. He was in the living room doing whatever. And I was just like, clear as day, like no emotion, just confident. I was like, you know, if I just like kill myself, I'll be good. I'm like, I won't have to deal with this shit. You know
I won't have to try to leave.
I won't
have to be manipulated to come back.
Exactly. I won't have to like embarrass myself to leave and come back.
Yeah.
And I didn't even flinch. I wasn't even like crying. I was confident.
Yeah.
And I just called my best friend. I was like, girl, and she's like out with her kids. She's just at a water park, and she's like, you good? And I just like tears. The minute she said, you good? Like,
that's the trigger question right there.
And I was just like, and she was like, what the fuck? First off, I don't cry. Everybody who knows me, when I cry, it's something really bad. And so when she heard me crying, she was like, what the fuck is going on? And it was down. And from that day, I was like, I will never in my fucking life allow this shit to happen.
Well, the thing with social media, too.
Wow.
We have seen an overload of information. Some of it's good because there's a lot of things, even as a historian and as a history teacher, I'm like, shit, I didn't even fucking know that. And I'm learning it from social media. I didn't even learn it from school.
Right.
Knowing about domestic abuse, a lot of women have to hide it. And men too. There's men that get abused too. It's not just a woman thing. A lot of men tend to be embarrassed because they feel like
they're supposed to be macho.
They're supposed to be macho, and no, there's men that are in homosexual relationships that get abused, and there are men that are in a straight relationship that are literally getting decked in their face by women. Yeah. Like when my mother told me there are abusive women out there,
cute. That's not cute.
As a teenager, I didn't believe her. I'm like, a woman can beat up a man. My mother's like, yeah, it's possible. She'll be surprised. And you know, I tell people all the time, especially my students, I'm like, yo. Especially when I see the girls hitting the boys, I'm like, if he hits you back, he's wrong, right? Stop putting your hands on him. So, you know, we grew up in an era where it's like, you know, thinking it's cute if a boy hits you, he likes you. No, that's not okay.
Not a chance.
Or the whole thing like, boys don't hit girls, they're not supposed to hit girls. But what is he supposed to do if a girl keeps slapping him in his face, punching him? It goes both ways. So it shouldn't be a thing where men are not supposed to hit women, but we're supposed to be all in the face.
And I will preface this by saying, at the time that I thought this, there was never any physical abusing.
Okay, because I was gonna
mine was all mental and emotional.
Okay, well first I was gonna say congratulations because instead of us saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," which is one of my first like reactions. Instinctive, forget that. It's really and genuinely like congratulations. How long were you in that relationship?
4 years.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I was in mine for 11. And it was
mine was 7 years.
Baby, I don't want to be too. I want
to be done.
I wanted to be done, and it was bad. Emotional. Let me tell you something.
Emotional, mental is like
it's like I almost had rather he had hit me.
Yes,
because I know, and that sounds crazy, but it's like
the mental and emotional hold that they have on you is almost like it's suffocating. It's almost like. You're in a straitjacket.
Yeah. Why did you think I said I should be in a straight? My 20s, I said it like my 20s was with this dude. I should have been checked in to a psych ward. That's how bad it is. And I'm a mental person. I'm a Cancer. I'm a mental person. So when you abuse me emotionally, you abuse me. You might as well have thrown me against the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Genuinely, because now here I am in this healthy relationship.
I don't know if
dealing with triggers.
Yes, and you saying that. So I don't know if you were as a child. Like my mom only knew physical discipline, right? So my sister introduced like removing things that we enjoy as a form of discipline. I was like, bitch, just hit me.
Yeah,
don't take me. Don't take my radio. Don't take my TV. Don't take my social.
My mom was after a while taking my Bow Wow CD, and I was really upset because I was like, just spank me. I know I'm too old for that. Yeah. But just give me my.
But that's what I'm saying. As far as like mental and emotional abuse in comparison to physical, all three are bad. Period.
That's not to downplay. It's not to downplay.
It's just from my experience, I realized that hold that it has on
like
your mental.
He might as well. That's what it is. It's not to say that anyone is better or worse. Yeah. But when I realized, mind you, I didn't know that I was being abused until I got out of the relationship.
Because you associated abuse with physical and not mental.
Yes, because I'm thinking domestic violence is physical. But and mind you, I found out from a podcast that I was being abused.
That's crazy.
Alrighty, here we go. All right, so we were talking about like, you know, abuse and its different forms of it. So,
because the original
for me,
topic
I got all of it. I got all of it. So my first relationship, I was 15, young. I thought this was the forever, of course.
Right.
And you know, eventually when the parents find out, because it was secret, because, you know, Haitian parents are very strict
Sure, yeah.
when you're supposed to be dating. They found out they didn't like him. And you know what I realized? Like, when your family doesn't like a person, you end up attaching yourself even more.
Listen.
So now I know when I do have children, I'm just gonna ignore the person they're dealing with, because I feel like
unless it's dangerous,
if I keep pushing, they're gonna connect with them more. So I'm gonna just step away, unless, like you said, unless they're dangerous. But I'm gonna step away, and maybe then my son or daughter will leave that person alone. But the abuse was in all forms, mentally, physically, and emotional. So there's things that he said to me where it's like, oh, that hurt. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
There are times. So that the whole situation with Danny Lay and the baby, when she goes on lives and crying, like asking God to help her. I felt that shit, because there are times I went to sleep fucking crying, asking God to help me remove myself from this person. And I'm pretty sure God has shown me plenty of times, but my hard-headed ass wasn't.
You didn't know how.
I didn't know how to think of it. Oh my God, that's my first forever.
You were battling with your brain and your heart at that point, like logic over like feelings.
Yes, and then dealing with like triggers, you know, certain things. Like I remember one guy, I think I was talking to, or maybe it was like my second to last relationship. And he was like, why are you flinching? I was like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't know. I felt embarrassed because I didn't know. Because I knew he wasn't, like, he was never physically abusive, even though he cheated all the fucking damn time. He, like,
still
saw
abusive.
Me. It is. But he was
cheating, habitual cheating is abuse.
It is. Yeah. So he, like, the way he moved, it made me, like, kind of jump. And he was like, he was like, damn, you had to do that, hit you. And it was, like, kind of embarrassing for me at that moment to, like, having to break down and tell that person, like, yes, this guy put his hands on me, and he was very.
It's such a vulnerable state to be in to even share that with the next person, because like I'm telling you this in hopes that you don't repeat those
same things. And I've been after that experience, I've been very fortunate not to deal with a guy to put their hands on me ever again. But the other abuses, of course, like the emotional, having to deal with someone constantly cheating on you, someone hitting up your phone, and now with social media, someone sliding in your DM, like I'm coming to you, woman to woman, like leave me the fuck alone.
I don't want to get me alone.
Yeah,
right.
Honestly, I was just saying this in the last podcast, or was it the dating one?
I think
like there were married men in my DMs, and I was just like, and the whole thing was like, well, we're separated. Okay, when you're divorced, let me know.
Listen, stop looking for people when you're separated.
You should be looking for
help.
Yeah.
You need healing. Go away.
Go
come
away.
over here with that.
It's hard. And it's a lot.
With social media, I feel like you said, sensory overload, too much of it. So that's why I feel like. I know there's a lot of young teenagers that have businesses started off of it, but I feel like it's super unhealthy for our young children. Like I asked my students a couple of weeks ago, at what age did you get your first cell phone? Because I had them watch a documentary about the 2000s, and I asked them like, what year were you born in? So most of them were like, 03, 04. And I'm like, shit, I was 17, 18. Yeah. One of them proceeds to say, Miss, you're the same age as my mom. And I'm like, how old are you? She goes, I'm 18. I'm like, oh shit, she could have been my kid. Because at 18, I'm in high school. Her mother was 18 and had her.
Yeah.
And now she's just turned 18 and she's like, her mom is 35 too. And I'm like, the thing is, guys, as a high school teacher, some of my students, their parents are the same age as me, or at least 2 years or a year older than me. And it's like,
a lot of my daughter's teachers, I'm like older than, but just like by a year.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
So it's interesting.
When they told me the year they were born, and then like, it was a thing that CNN did, like things that took place in the year 2000. So like the big thing with like sitcom TVs, having, now we have over 300 channels to watch shows. Like before, it's like if you miss an episode, you fucking miss the episode.
Okay, about that, the whole show thing. So I remember when I was in Florida for 2 months, and in July we did like an Airbnb with the kids or whatever, my god kids, and the apartment had cable. The kids are not used to cable. They're used to streaming sites.
Yeah.
So my oldest goddaughter is like streaming, like going through the channels. She's like, oh, this TV is as old as my mom. There's commercials. Like commercials is like not a thing for her. And I'm like,
it's the disrespect for me.
She's like, she wants to see her shows in its entirety, not with commercials. And she's like, oh, it's as old as my mom. And I was like, I felt offended because I'm your mom. I'm older than your mom. Like, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
But these kids don't know what we grew up with. Like, they have everything at their hands. Like,
at the disposal,
everything.
And it's fast, too. It's not like with us. It's like, that's why I feel like we are, I mean, some of people in our age group, too. Like, we're gotten so used to things being so quick that we have no patience. And I'm like, bruh, what if, and we see how when Instagram decides not to work and Instagram is connected with Facebook,
Okay.
and people lose their damn mind, and
Yeah.
everyone runs to Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, and when they make the memes.
I
Twitter.
text Peggy that same day when Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck we gonna do? We just got all of our equipment for this fucking season 2.
I didn't even know Facebook and Instagram was down. Honestly,
all right.
No. I'm not those people. I really didn't know because that day I really
knew.
wasn't on it. But then when I logged in,
it
wasn't loading.
My social media breaks at work. I was like, I've seen the
I'm
same.
scrolling down like, what the
My
hell?
I kept saying my algorithm's fucked up because I keep seeing the same picture.
So
I was
no,
like,
this is how I knew Instagram was down. Because that day in particular, I was busy. I didn't log in at all. I didn't swipe or anything. And then when I finally sat down to look and it's saying the last post was 14 hours ago, I'm like, oh, we're fucked. Like, yeah, it's not working because that's the only way for it not to be updated.
we need social
I
media.
just run to Twitter because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Twitter got the work, they got the news.
Yeah,
Twitter's a lot.
it's a lot. I had Twitter in 2010 and I haven't had it since.
I had mine in 2010 and I kept the account and I just got back on it the last year and a half.
Twitter scares me off the strength that people always pulling old receipts and they
Yes,
don't
that's
allow
true, too.
for the grace and the space for you to
they
grow.
don't.
Like
I just
your
think I just
mindset at
go
one
with
point in your life is not gonna be your mindset 10 years later, and you're holding me accountable to those.
Thank
those
you
things.
for bringing that up because
That's whack as fuck.
with social media, you have to remember, social media
Everything
is
lives.
about, at this point, like fully in this context, 15 years old. The first one, aside from Black Planet and MySpace, Mahente, you had Facebook that came out in what, 04, 05? And back then, you needed a college email account to log in,
Yes, I
right?
remember that.
And then around 08, 09, they gave it free for all. Everyone can join in. And then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, remember at one point, Facebook didn't have any ads. It was just seeing your friends, people poking you to death,
Oh,
and
God,
laughing.
I hated that.
There was no reactions or anything,
and
stuff like that. So, social media, in a sense, for us especially, we kind of knew it at the time we were 18, and not all of us had cell phones, so we had a period where we weren't attached at the hip to the phone.
This is true.
You know, our younger generation now, you have babies coming out the room knowing how to scroll with their little thumbs.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They know how to scroll and look up YouTube. They be declining your calls. And
Yeah.
I know some of y'all with y'all kids, when I call y'all, it goes to voicemail. I'm like, it's their fucking kids.
Hatred.
Sending
Like, I'm
you
trying to
the
call
phone.
your mother. Can you give your mother the phone?
Right?
They don't even let you.
My
they
niece
won't
and
answer
nephew
the
be
phone.
like, no, they don't. And if
They
they
decline.
do it by accident, can you give your mother the phone? It's like, you're not getting to the parent.
No.
You're not getting to the parent.
So with social media, I feel like we have good things that come out of it. We see things that we wouldn't have been able to see. News that we probably would take forever to get to. We have access to it. Honestly, if we didn't have social media, if COVID had hit us, it did hit us. In 2020, at the time that it did, with not having the social media, there's a lot of things we have been blinded to. We got people just now finding out that we had a Black Wall Street. And no offense to them, and I'm not going to be mad about that, because I found out about Black Wall Street at the age of 29. I'm 35. So I went through all my schooling not knowing about Black Wall Street, not knowing that we had communities of Black businesses and entrepreneurship because we had no choice to, because white people didn't want us around them. And technically they still don't.
They still don't.
But
I recently had to teach some people at my job that slavery ended technically, and it's still existing in other forms. But like in the original form, 1963, specifically the year. And they were like, no, like, because the Civil War was in the 1800s. I'm like, but that didn't mean slavery ended.
No.
And I'm teaching this to people that I work with, and I was just.
It's them saying no to you for me.
Yeah, they were
like,
trying to correct me, like, the Civil War.
Well, first of all,
I like how you
need
remember
you
the
to
Civil War date, but you don't remember like the last slavery.
It's priorities for me.
No, for me, it's like, I think I posted it yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but there was a post how they said, like, slavery wasn't long ago, because at the time when Harriet Tubman was still alive, Ronald Reagan was born, Thomas Jefferson was still alive. It was like all this craziness. So don't let nobody tell you slavery was so long ago. It really fucking wasn't, because
in the original form of what slavery was, it wasn't long ago. But slavery is existing even now to this day in the form of incarcerating Black men for the same things you are profiting off of now.
Don't not get me started on that, because you know I can bring out my binder with all the forms and receipts out. Don't get me started. That shit pisses me off. That's why when I teach it, I tell my students, look, you might get a little bit upset, But when you learn true history, you're supposed to be upset because it's fuck, this really happened and people thought it was okay. And just because something legal doesn't make it okay. Okay, slavery was legal. Was that fucking okay? It really wasn't.
Very true.
I mean, so people think, well, you know, that's illegal. Like, okay, selling weed was illegal for a long time, and now you got white weed dispensers
making $1 million a day.
You got black men and women locked up for life for weed. I always said, look, if you're gonna put me in jail for life, I might as well kill someone. Yeah. I'm not promoting violence, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna put me 25 years to life for fucking an ounce of weed or whatever, I might as well just kill someone in the process because that's the same amount of time. So it's like, damn, like our laws and the way they figure out how laws are supposed to be, it's just fucking dumb.
And I will correct myself because in the last episode I said something about homeboy who killed the girl and her dog, and I said, oh, the government or the laws will take care of him and hold him accountable. I highly doubt that. Yeah. They'll hold him accountable in the sense that he's a black man who killed a white woman.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. And that's why I like with social media, it has exposed us to things that we, like some of us black folks, we already knew the justice system was never meant for us. Like, yeah, it works when it wants to work, but we know it doesn't work.
It works for specific people.
It works for specific people and people with a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So money does play a role too.
Yes, it does.
So I like the fact that, and especially with social media, another positive thing I like about it too is, as the black pages that I follow, it shows how no matter where we are in the world, black people, we go through the same thing. It's just that languages might be different. So when I be sending those threads, I crack up because it's like, yo,
she be sending me stuff that's only in Creole and I understand everything. Like literally Haitian Creole, and I understand exactly. I understand body language. I'm understanding context. You got
the whole thing.
A whole thing, and I don't understand not one thing that man's saying or that woman is saying in that video, but I understand what's going on in that video, and that's only because we have the same trauma.
Yes, Cambodians and Haitians, yes, we do.
Yes.
So it's like and blacks too. That's what I like about the black diaspora.
Right.
Is like, no matter where we are, we get it. Like, even if the language is not the same, we fucking get it.
Yeah.
Like, when the threads talk about when you go to a black family gathering or a cookout, like, you have the typical things that we do. Yeah. And even as a Haitian American, like, we have certain things that are slightly different culturally, but it's like, we fucking do the same thing too. Yeah. It's just the language is a little different. Yeah. So that's what I like about us. And it's like, I feel like with social media, you would think sometimes, like, as a black person, I love all black people. I'm not saying we all have to be kumbaya, but if we could just get together for the common cause. We already know there's so much shit against us, right?
But why the world is all without kumbaya though? Why?
So here's the thing with kumbaya.
Okay.
My thing is, I can support what you're doing. Even so, here's the thing. I don't want people to misconstrue it. Like, you can still respect a human being even if you don't agree with them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the thing I see with social media, the moment someone posts something you don't agree with, it's just you go through the comment thread. It's just straight disrespect. And it's like you don't have to agree with it. And that's perfectly fine. Yeah. You don't have to agree with it, but just still respect me. As long as I haven't done anything to harm you or disrespect you or your family
personally
or your children, you shouldn't be coming to attack me. And I feel like that's what I hate about social media. That part is like,
it shows how many people need therapy. I don't care.
No. Yes.
There's
everybody. One thing we do on this motherfucking show is going to promote therapy.
Listen, we going to promote therapy. Your girl just got therapy for the first time last week.
I'm still waiting.
Till Kingdom Come.
I'm 2 years.
Are you? I've been praying for a year and a half after I got in that toxic relationship to find a therapist, and I finally.
So it was your Sierra prayer for therapy?
It was my Sierra prayer for therapy.
Yes, that is so bomb.
Because I knew I needed it, but I wanted the right person. I wasn't just going to pay any old body.
I'm conflicted on whether I should go through my insurance or if I should go through out of pocket. Because out of insurance is sometimes sketch. You don't get all the right people.
That's not 100% true, though.
You can find the right person. It depends on what the therapist accepts.
Well, the
therapist is really up to them
right now.
So just check. No, honestly, with the therapy thing is usually up to the therapist what they want to accept. So so sometimes they may not accept that insurance right now, and then 6 months later they're not taking it. So it's really up to the therapist. Your insurance is not going to stop you from getting therapy, or you shouldn't go there. They just say, hey, you go here, wherever you go, it's $20 or $25 copay. But if your therapist does not accept that insurance, they say, well, out-of-pocket costs will be $80 or $100 because I don't accept that. But when they do accept it, because my therapist now, when I had to switch over, they weren't accepting my insurance right at that moment just yet. So out of pocket, it was $80, but I had my flex spend account, so they're taking from that. But then 2 months later, it's like, okay, we now accept your insurance, so your copay will be $20. So it's not really your insurance that's preventing you. It's really up to the therapist of what insurance they provide.
If I was you, I would search for just search pretending that it doesn't matter how you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
And just find who you need to find.
And they target the things you're looking for.
We spend a lot of money on other stuff. And that's money worth spending. Mine doesn't take my insurance, and I'm thoroughly
Can we be like 100%? This is like a hot topic. Honest, open truth. Okay?
Okay.
I'm so afraid for what is going to come out of this. I've seen everybody go through therapy, and the process in which they're going through therapy is like traumatic as fuck. I've seen people like go through depression. I've seen people have revelations about themselves, about things that they've suppressed and that they didn't even realize they were dealing with.
Me. Yeah.
And the headspace that they're in that process is like scary as fuck to me, because I'm like, I can't afford that.
It's not as scary as
but I've seen the end result. I've seen the end.
Yes.
I've seen the finish line. And I've seen what it's done for people, and I want that for myself.
Yes.
But I'm just going to tell Peggy right now, she needs to have the grace and space for me, because I'm going to be a whole ass bitch. And she's going to have patience with me, because I'm not going to be okay, especially with the 75-day hard. And that was one of the things that I wrote down, like find a therapist, go through therapy during that 75 days. Obviously, I have to go through that process now. So come January 1st, I already have a therapist lined up, and we already have these we're having these conversations as I'm going through this 75-day hard. Because I want to be a whole person.
Well, here's my question. Do you have grace for yourself?
No, I definitely don't.
Well, that's where you have to start.
Yeah.
Because if you don't
bitch, you know better. Don't
if you don't have grace for yourself, you can't expect other people to.
No, I know. I think it's just, there's a lot of things, and I say this all the time in every episode, there's a lot of trauma that I need to work through.
Honey, there's a lot of trauma, but guess what? I think struggle and trauma breeds character.
You know what my best friend says to her kids? Because when they go through, like, they can't use their iPad, so now they're it's the end of the world. She's like, trauma ain't never hurt nobody. And the kids be like, what is she talking about? What's your best friend talking about? I'm like, she's right. Trauma ain't never hurt nobody. Oh, so the oldest is 11.
Okay.
The second one is 7, and then the baby's 6 months. So when the 11-year-old be like, mommy's so difficult, because she allows her kids to express themselves in whatever fashion. She's not gonna tell me this is the right way to talk to me. This is the wrong way to talk to me. Obviously, you're not cursing at me.
Right.
But if you're feeling a way and you're frustrated, I want you to release that frustration. I don't want you to suppress it. So that's how I'm like obsessed with her kids, like, and how she mothers with her kids. Even her husband. Her husband is like, we're gonna have the difficult conversations. Even though it's uncomfortable for me, it's gonna be uncomfortable for you too. But I don't want you to get that information from anybody else.
Right.
Because I don't know what their intentions are with you.
Yeah.
So when her kids are going through shit, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna whoop her ass. But then her mother be like, say your piece, because we're gonna have this conversation.
That's it. And the positive part of the social media thing that I was gonna add too, that's how I ended up finding my therapist anyways, because I was following this page called Black Girls Need Therapy, Therapy for Black Girls.
Oh, I love that podcast.
So I randomly, I don't know how I found her.
I need to follow.
And
until I found a therapist,
and she had a link.
Therapy.
She had a link on her bio that it's like a database where you need to find therapists across the country. You just gotta put the city and state that you're in, and that's how I ended up finding the location and my therapist. I was physically going to her. This is prior to COVID, and then due to COVID, we're doing telehealth. But
which I love.
So with the thing,
really, you prefer telehealth over in person?
Almost low key.
I've done both. So I don't mind either or. Because it's in a way it's convenient. Like so if I say, for example, I didn't go into work and I have my appointment and I don't feel like leaving my house because I've been home all day, I can just hop on and sit and you just find a safe, quiet space that you can do it. One time I sat in my car.
So Peggy had one of her sessions in my house. So is my house safe and quiet?
Yes. And the thing is with your therapist, when they see that you're moving locations, like you're not in the same space, they will ask like, okay, where are you? Is it a safe space? So she asked me where I was at because she noticed I'm not in my basement space. Right. And one time I even did my therapy session in the car because I knew I wasn't gonna get home in time, and I parked my car and I was talking on the phone with her, and she's like, as long as you're not driving, you pulled over and you're parked, that's fine. So it is more convenient if you can't make it, because prior to that, when I was physically going to my therapist, there were times I was rushing to her.
Right.
Yeah. You know, because of traffic and stuff. So I was
now you're all flustered and
like, oh my God, okay, whew.
And there's something about being in that safe space by yourself where you almost feel like I can kind of divulge a little more.
Yeah.
In person might be a little intimidating sometimes.
Yeah.
But when I'm at my house, I'm in my office, and I'm like, I ain't got no pants on, but I got a shirt on.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, okay, I'm just comfortable.
So, and that's the thing, like, I feel like social media can tear people apart, and also it can bring us together. So it can be very informative, but the downside to it too is like, as humans, naturally we want attention. Yeah. But there's some people who I feel like it's borderline, like, okay, you're doing a lot that you want it to go straight to social media. Or like your only time you feel good about yourself is social media and stuff like that. And I mean, for me, social media does play a role in how we see ourselves. Like there's times where I post a picture, I'm like, oh hell no filter. Like I got bags under my eyes. And then, I think it's natural, like humanistically, and it might not be a fucking word, but oh well. Like I feel like naturally we're always gonna judge ourselves. Yeah. Like I don't like that. Or there's times when my friends say, I don't like the way.
Naturally though. I think that's considered off of what you have been exposed to as views of beauty. Mm-hmm. That's not a natural thing to think that you don't look good because you have bags on the eyes. That's been like learned behavior. That's been learned upon because of social media, and that's why I don't like social media because there's people that be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, cringe. Because I'm like, why would you say that? Like, what? I don't feel that.
Why would you say that when someone says, give you
I know. And I'm just like,
she doesn't like compliments anyway. I'm like, oh my God, you look mad.
No, I can't wait to meet you. Listen, I can't wait to meet you after therapy. You hear me?
Bitch.
I can't wait to meet you. Because honestly,
I'm a different person right now.
Yes, you need grace. And one, you need to accept the compliment. If someone's giving it to you, they're not gassing you up. When you have been violated emotionally,
but at a
young age, and beyond, it's hard to take a compliment. And Black women, we need to take compliments. It's disgusting.
I'm quick to give compliments.
Give. But then when people give me a compliment, I'm like, why am I? Oh, I tried. Like, no, baby, I look good. Why am I saying I tried?
Okay, I don't mind giving compliments. But there's some women who are like so mean with the like when you like if you're looking because you're admiring them, they think you're like trying to whatever. Yeah. But me, there's another thing we do though. Like when someone compliments, like this whole thing, like you try to like downplay it. I have people who said like, oh my God, your nails look so nice. And I got 3 fucking broken nails. And I'm like, are you trying to be funny? Like one of my students said, Miss, I really like your nails. I'm like, wait, are you trying to be funny? I got like 3 nails. Like, no. But the design that's on the tip.
Right, the actual nail.
I was like, oh, I was like, Miss, I got broken nails too. I'm not trying to be funny. I was like, oh, okay. But no,
you know the thing about social media though? The thing about social media, I feel like social media is a magnifying glass. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, if you're on social media, and I love social media. I will say that. I love it for the things that it offers, the ways I can connect with people for real.
And the kiki.
And the kikis, because I be on my bed.
Jessica, don't lie. You know I be sending you shit and be making you crack up.
It literally gets me through the day.
But I've also been on the shade room in the comments, like ready to say something. Yep. Like, why would it? It's like if you are in a state in your life, you gonna project that on social media. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're also in a place in your life where I'm giving myself grace, I'm accepting compliments, I feel good about myself for the most part. I know when to get off. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You are not like the rest of these people that are trolling and feeling like and acting mean towards people.
I agree with you because some people will ask me, I don't know how you're on social media all the time. I'm like, there's times like I'll send but here's the thing, I'll send y'all shit and then I hop off. Like once I'm done doing anything, I'll disappear.
You gotta have boundaries.
I know my limits. So I know everyone's mental capacity and what they can handle and what they can't handle, that's on them. So I never say to somebody, why aren't you on social media? Right. Well, how come you're never online? Because that's not my place. Right. That's not my place. You know what? I give up on that. We're just going to deal with the visual. Okay. That's not my place because of the fact is like what I handle is my business and what you can handle is your business. And I'm not going to project that on you like, well, I'm on social media all the time and I can't. That's another thing too. Like, Because you're able to handle something, you're expecting people to do it too. And I had to learn that too, because there are things that I was able to handle. And then when someone's like bringing up their situation, I'm like, well, I can handle that, why can't you? But I never said it to them, but I keep it to myself and realize what I find stressful may not be stressful to someone else, and vice versa. So I have to have that grace for that person. Yeah. Because some people are like, oh my God, Becky, I don't know how you do all of it. And, you know, like I said,
down to minding your own business.
Minding your own business.
Respectfully.
There's a lot of things, and here's the thing. People will start trolling, or like they feel the need to comment on everything.
Yes.
So the whole need of, you know, if someone posts something and I didn't like it, but it wasn't projected at me, why do I feel the need to comment on it?
You don't.
There's certain things, like social injustice and all this. Certain things you do, you can add your 2 cents. You can add your 2 cents. But there's certain things that people feel the need, they have to comment every little thing. And then some of their comments are the most ignorant things. So prime example, we're talking about the domestic violence thing, right? Some people, and some women too, surprisingly, and some men too, was like, oh, I need to know. And I know there's certain things you need to know the whole story, because certain situations, certain people do certain things, they only tell you half of it.
Right.
And
social media, that's one of the cons.
Yes.
You only get a piece.
You only get a piece. You don't get the full story. Yeah. But my thing is, it's like, regardless if she initiated it or not, he has to learn to step away from that. And I know it's easier said than done. Yeah. But the child was there.
Yes.
And now we see the video.
Yes.
All you see her talking calmly to him, and he just literally threw her across the room like a rag doll. Yes. And then you got men laughing like, oh, I need to know the whole story. Like, what if this was your daughter? What if this was your mother, your aunt, your niece? Hell, your son, your nephew, because men get hit too. And that's the thing, people fail to forget, like, you're quick to comment on something because it's not affecting you. Yeah. But if it's affecting you, you want people to give you grace and woe is me. We have to learn to stop doing that. And like something shouldn't happen to you in order for you to believe it. Like prime example, how some people don't believe, surprisingly enough, racism doesn't exist, or because it hasn't happened to them, it doesn't exist, or like. And I tend to use this.
What's more troubling is when it comes from a black person's mouth.
Yes, and it's like, wait a minute. Just because it hasn't happened to you or never happened to you doesn't mean it does not happen. That's like me never had a gun pointed to my head and got robbed. Oh, robbery doesn't exist. People don't steal shit.
Right. Yeah.
People
don't get mugged no more.
People don't get mugged. Like, what do you mean? There's a lot of resources.
You know what sucks about social
media?
Now that you're saying that, it's like we have hardcore video evidence of this act, whether it be
allegedly
killing,
that's the word,
and it's always used as allegedly. Like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
What are you alleged?
What am I missing?
Do you have a filter on your shit?
And I think I was telling you, I think we was having a conversation about that. I said the only time I honestly will accept allegedly is if I go on social media and talk about it and no one saw what happened. Then you can say Peggy Valsey allegedly stated that so and so abused her. Yeah. Okay, because that y'all didn't physically see it, there was no eyewitness. I'm coming out word of mouth saying it, and the person now will have to defend himself. But if there is video, and it's always killing me, even with the police shootings, police allegedly shot black man. I literally saw him point the gun like this, put the finger on the trigger, and shot him. That is no alleged nothing. It is seen with all our eyes. The whole world saw it. So there's no alleged, and that word kills me. I think it's only acceptable if no one has proof. We do not see it physically. Then you can say that. But when there's actual evidence and video now in 4K, and you're telling me allegedly, that shit kills me. Allegedly killed them. Well, we saw the person bludgeon the person to death. What do you mean allegedly? They did
There is no alleged.
You know,
it just happened.
So, and I know there's certain circumstances and certain stuff like that, but when it's in our eyes, face to face, now with cameras everywhere, people record it, and that's another thing with social media too that I do not like. When people are helping someone less fortunate than them, and they have to record it. I do not
that
like
is
that.
the biggest pet peeve.
Recording homeless people, you're helping them. Or when celebrities go to towns and want to record them throwing money at people, it's annoying. And listen, I do
unless
go to church.
You're a nonprofit and you're trying to promote the nonprofit, put the camera down. Just do it for the love of it.
If you're really truly doing it, just do it. And you know what's the funny thing is,
it's not bothering me. Can you just hit play?
You want me to? I'm gonna hit record.
Yeah, because I'll do that editing.
So there's one time that a celebrity, it was a couple of years ago, a celebrity had posted that they were recording themselves helping another person, and people were commenting on it like, why couldn't you just do it without recording? And someone put a Bible verse, and I'm not one to post Bible verses on people. I'm not like, I go to church, but I don't remember anything in the Bible. All I know is Jesus wept. That's all I know. And
turn water into wine.
Yep, that's it. But
that was my podcast name.
Really?
Yes.
See,
oh
I
my
think
god, it was a remake.
So the person put a verse, and I don't remember verbatim, but it was along the lines like where it says like in the Bible it even says if you're going to, I'm just summarizing. I don't know.
Give us a.
Everyone interprets the Bible differently, so you can interpret.
So in a way, it was saying like, you know, if you are going to help someone less fortunate, you don't have to boast. Yeah. I remember the word boasting. You shouldn't be boasting about it. Yeah. Just do it, because we know at the end of the day, you're a kind person. Your actions will show that. Yeah. You don't have to prove that you're a nice person. You don't have to prove like anything. And then you know, self-esteem is a huge thing. If your self-esteem is super low, you will thrive off of social media in a sense. And when things don't go right, you will lose your sense of self. Some people have lost their sense of self due to social media because they're thriving off of the likes, the comments and stuff. And, you know, like when I first got into Instagram, that was me. And, you know, I was like, what, 24, 25 when I got on Instagram? Like, oh my God, I don't have enough likes. But at the time, not a lot of people had Instagram. So it was a thing once you got 12 likes. Like, oh shit, I have 12 likes. But now it's like...
Can I say something to that? Because I recently did this to Peggy. And I was super excited because we were getting a lot of views on one of our episodes. And I'm like, oh my God, like, we're at this and we're at this. And we're like, just saying like, oh, do you think we're going to get to this number at this date? And I realized I don't want this podcast to be about validation and people viewing us. I actually want it to be a safe space for our friends and for each other to have these conversations and express. Because this is therapy for me in the sense until I get a therapist. So, like, I told myself, because Peggy still sends me, like,
because I know you like numbers. That's why I send it. Me personally, I've always... And I feel you because when I first started doing, like, Lips Body Utopia and Peace Patties, like, you know, I wasn't getting those likes and stuff. And I was like, maybe people don't like my business. Maybe people... And, like, you know, some friends and family weren't, you know, reposting. Yeah. You know, in the beginning, I was getting offended. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day... Like I said, I know it's always easier said than done. But I really have to tell myself, like, I know what products I'm providing. And I know I'm providing amazing customer service to the point that if you come, you're going to bring a few people with you. So with our podcast... And I think I was telling you the other day through one of our voice notes, I said, you know, I noticed there's some people that I know personally that are my friends or cool with, they don't repost our podcast. I post the link and stuff like that. They don't repost it and say, hey, check us out, da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm okay with that because I know this is a space that, to the point where me and Jessica will hit each other up like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait for us to hop on our podcast and talk about it this week. Like, we're excited about it. We don't give a fuck if nobody watches it. Me and her will rewatch our shit and laugh at it like we didn't just record it. So we get amped off of it. So I'm like, the fact... It does add to it when people comment and share and say, oh my God, I love your podcast. It pushes us even more. We push ourselves, but it pushes us even more to like, let's keep doing this. I love it. I enjoy the space that we're creating.
And the right
for
audience always comes, whether it's social media for your business, social media for your personal life, or for your podcast.
Exactly.
Like, I just want my stuff in the right audience's hands. Get into the right people. That's honestly and genuinely what
I don't want like those.
No, I don't want the
what our culture would say, evil eyes. Like I don't want that for us. Anyways, and I'm just like, I was feeling the same way. I was like, damn, like, are you really my friends? But in my head, I'm just like, you know what? I can't ask someone to promote something, regardless of how they feel about me, whether they consider me my friends or not. I know a lot of my friends don't listen to podcasts. Like, they're not podcasters. Some of them don't understand the concept. I remember when I was telling my friends, like, hey, I'm starting a podcast. I'm like, okay, like, well, when can I see you? I can't wait to see your face. And I'm just like, no, it's audio.
It's like the radio.
It's the radio.
That's why this season we made sure to do the visual aspect.
And then even then, we did this, and a lot of those same people did not repost. And I was like, you know what? I am confident in knowing what my relationship is with this person. They still are my friends. They still are my best friends
because of that.
But they just don't want that on their space. Some people like certain content on their space, on their socials, or aesthetics, I guess. And that's okay with me too. So I was just like, you know what? I can never be, and I was really feeling some type of way. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I want to do this no more.
No, I don't blame you because here's how I am. I realize that social media is a space where I feel like I'm eating, I can share, and you can eat too. You're not taking light away from me. Due to my mental health, and I had to give a break, people notice, not people noticing, I know that for the last 2-3 months, I haven't taken the time where I, randomly I'll post the businesses that I can find on my page and tag like, oh, go support Black businesses. And I remember last year, Jessica was telling me how, like, I love the fact that every month you would post, or at the beginning or the end of the month, I would post Black businesses, because that's how she was able, because her thing was, I want to shop Black this year for Christmas and get
Christmas gifts. I remember
so
that.
I
always do that this year.
Yeah, and I always make a point to do it. So it's been a while. So like, was it 2 days ago? I posted the Black businesses that Instagram would allow me to tag, and I kept tagging them like, oh, shop Black, tag. And there are times where people will never tag my business, and that's perfectly fine. And those people have never shopped from my business or even posted or reposted Uncomfortable Growth podcast, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But my thing is, at the end of the day, I know what I'm doing it for. I'm shouting you out because who knows what I posted you at, someone else might find your service convenient for them, and they go to you.
That's how I feel about my Black. So my Black coffee page is, I deemed myself.
Wait, the whole purpose of this was you to express the two of you, because you both have like businesses, is to discuss really what that looks like for someone who wants to start a small business. How did social media help you? How did social media hinder you? And how have you learned the algorithm, I guess, in social media? Like, when it comes to social media and promoting your business. Because first off, discuss your businesses.
Oh, well, to what you're saying, Black Coffee is my brand connoisseur page, which is also more so my personal page. And just like you're saying, you like to promote businesses, so do I. I do the same thing. If I love a company, I'm posting them. I have whether it's a story or a post, like, I do that. Like, when I go out to eat, all that. Like, I love doing it. And I do it on my Grace Co. page as well, because I follow a lot of local businesses in Boston, so I just repost them too. Not for me, not for the repost me. So I post because I do want to see them thrive. That's it. That's philanthropy. Yeah, that's really it. And I know how hard it is. So we also do that on the Money Shot page as well, which is my couples page. Yeah. Couples page is my
I was actually reposting on our business page. Yeah. And I seen it and I watched you live and I was like,
thank you, because I'm like, I don't know who's gonna watch it, but that's fine.
I watched the whole thing. I'm like, oh wow.
Thank you, girl, because we were doing it. It was like 3 people came in at the time, but it was fun.
But I love how you guys were just into each other and not necessarily like seeing who's on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
People always ask me how we met, so I was like, let's just do a live about it. So I mean, I love telling that story just because after all you go through, like when you do get in a healthy relationship, you just
and I love that you have that friendship. You and your friend were like mad excited to see each other, like they didn't see each other the day before. And I'm like, that's how I am with my friends. Like,
I was like,
people outside would be like, y'all haven't seen each other in months. Like, no, I see her. I was
just at her house. Like, I was just at her house. But
I love that.
Oh, what was your question about social media?
Like, how has it helped or hindered?
Okay, well, I genuinely do love the social media.
I know, and I'm just like,
I just started a Twitter for my cleaning business, which is interesting. And why? It's just because for me,
word of mouth is huge.
Word of mouth is huge, but for me overall, like nobody has to use my service. Fine, no one around here has to use my service. Genuinely, my service is about uplifting and creating peace of mind and freedom. Like, I promote self-care, self-love. So like, yes, if you're not used to having a cleaner or something, like, that's fine. Like, I'm also here to just uplift
I feel like a lot of people are going towards that direction off the strength that people are 2 full-time working parents. Like, if it's a 2-parent household, both parents are working full-time. And then having to come home and take care of the kids. Like, cleaning is definitely at the back burner, but I feel like cleaning can help you. It's like cleaning your mind on
it literally is. When your environment is like
a mess,
neat and when it's neat or a mess, that is what in here is. So like, I just help people regain a sense of control of their environment, which then helps them thrive. To be like, oh shoot, we just walked in. Let's cook dinner, have a family dinner, or let's go for a walk.
Now I have to worry about cleaning, then cooking, and then now it's 9 o'clock.
It's already clean. It's just like you just start going in and spending time with your children. But as far as starting a business in social media, what I do love about social media is that on every platform you're gonna get Lakeisha, whether it's business, The Money Shot or Black Coffee. You're just getting Keisha across the board. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's all you're getting because that's all I'm giving. For all the years that I have honestly faked, I have been on a ton of trips, but a lot of that was coping with my abusive relationship.
Yes.
A lot of my trips, when people would always be like, yo, I was away, I'm escaping from my effed up life here in Boston. But now, like, when I realize, like, I don't want to hide that anymore. I don't want to hide anything. You see my captions are long because even with my work one, you're going to get Lakeisha. I don't care what it is. Whatever platform.
So explain what that means when you say you're going to get Lakeisha.
You're going to get Lakeisha. Like, if I had a busy week and I post today after work and I post, like, me cleaning the sink, you're going to get Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to get, I hope you have a restful weekend because this week was really long and it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to get my heart. And that's it. And that's how I stay on top of, like, the pros of Facebook, of social media because I genuinely want to promote, like, I don't want to be a part of the people that are, like, the messed up part about social media.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of light. Like, I want to be the light. When you scrolling past my stuff, you're going to see the light.
Yeah.
You're going to see the light.
That's so long.
And my social media for Black Coffee is like, I'm going to let you know when I had an anxiety-filled week. I'm going to let you know that I didn't feel really great about myself. I was so emotional because I had my first therapy session. I realized I suppressed all my life. From 1 to 33, right? You're gonna get that, and on the Money Shot, you're gonna get a lot of emotion. I'm a Cancer all day. You're gonna get the emotions.
I learned to love Cancers because I'm non-emotional. Like I'm emotional, like by myself. Like we're not gonna display that in any areas where people could take advantage of. And so one of my friends is like a Cancer, and I'm like, God damn, this girl's so damn emotional. But I love her because she's always vulnerable. No matter how many times people treat her like shit, she still comes in 110. Yeah.
Because you know what? In my last,
I'm like, why are you friends with that bitch? I don't even like her. And she, I'm like, but that's my friend.
That's
no. I'm saying like, you know how I always miss. Okay, so I said this in the last podcast. If people fuck with the people that I love, you're dead to me.
You're done.
But I can forget people who fuck with me.
Yeah.
So again, I understand that friendships are not gonna always be peaches and cream. It's not gonna always be hunky dory. It's not. It's not gonna be happy. I don't ever put that when it comes to my friends being hurt. Like if my friends are hurt, let's fight it.
All is over.
We're fighting.
I agree.
Let's get this going.
Okay, so with my businesses, well, I hate the fact now, like, Instagram done fucked up the algorithm.
Yeah,
like,
that's the part.
It's really annoying. Like, before,
there's actually, and I will send you this link to you, there's a way to change this like, algorithm.
Please send the link.
Please do.
Please.
So, my thing is, it's like, before, when I was in the thick of it, like, starting my business, it's like, you know, things would go in chronological order. Someone just posted 2 seconds ago.
Which I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I will see that first, and then as I scroll, I'll see something that was posted a few hours ago, maybe a couple of days ago. Now, when I go on it, it's like something that was 2 days ago. Like, why the fuck did I see that? Even Facebook, too.
Same.
I'm now seeing posts from people from 4 days ago. And it's like, okay, I'm still going to share it, but it's like, damn, like 4 days ago, like, why am I seeing that?
Yeah.
So, like, for my businesses, I feel like it's a good way to share information. So like this past summer, I started my whole tutoring business. So I had a few, kids that I have been tutoring because of that. And my friends have been reposting and sharing it as well. And my significant other, he has been sharing that as well. And I've learned to, like, for my personal page, it was a point in time where, okay, I was super childish. I'm still childish, but I was super childish. I was really, when I look back at my page, there was one point I went and did a detox. Like, I deleted a lot of stuff off of my page. Because there were things I was posting that was super inappropriate, but it was funny at the time. And I did delete it. And it was right around the time before I even knew I was going to get a job into teaching and stuff. And then when I got the job, I was like, well, thank God I deleted that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then another thing with my personal page, I felt the need, like, while I was in a relationship, like, in order to validate the relationship, I had to post this person. And if he didn't post me, which he wasn't doing enough.
Ooh, don't let us get off that part. We gotta come back to that.
Okay, so with that part,
put a pin in that. We gotta come.
Okay, I'm gonna pause on that part. But with that, it's like I've learned now, like, I'll post on my actual page here and there, but in my stories, people who know me, I post a lot of informational stuff. I'll post a lot of historical stuff, mental health stuff, and then towards the end, I'll post a lot of funnies because I realized that I post things strategically on purpose on my story and on my Snap. If you guys ever notice, when I post something, it's like informative. It could be historical. Something might be sad. Something about mental health. And towards the end, I post a funny meme or a funny video. So obviously, I'm going to give you probably the dreadful things first. And then towards the end, before you get off my story, I lighten it up, make you kiki a little bit. And then towards the end, I'll post like I'll tag one of my businesses on my IG story. But for both of my businesses, I just started learning about aesthetics. So I wasn't really aesthetically pleasing, I guess, but I've learned to clean up my page and my website. I created a website for my Patty page, which I didn't have. And honestly, I would send my things to Jessica like, how should I improve it? Because Jessica would tell me, that's fucking ugly. Take that off. Change it. It's too dark.
Like
people are not going to like that. So I would go to her before
because I know what I'm looking for when I look on pages. I mean, granted, it might be biased because it's a one-sided viewpoint, but I like to think I know what aesthetics are gonna look good and what are gonna attract people. And so she trusts me in the fact that I'm gonna be honest with her, and I'm gonna also, in the same breath, provide her options. I'm not gonna be like, that's trash, and then have her fight for her own, like,
this is true.
Right. So
exactly.
So I have revamped a lot, and I try to, like, I'm a personal person, so like how you're super open across all your pages, I don't do all that. Like for me, Patty page, I just post the content. That's that. I post the information and keep it short and sweet. The only time I ever posted my actual video of myself talking, it was because I was getting slightly irritated with, I'm a very detailed person. And I realized I'd rather make sure I give all the information that's needed on my website, so you as the customer don't have to constantly go back and forth with me with questions. So we save time. So it was really frustrating when people hop on my email or DM me after I literally say, do not DM me.
Listen, I just direct them right, like, listen, hey, link in my bio. I'm not taking no DMs.
No DMs, because it's like sometimes the DMs get sent to the request page and you don't see it.
No, and it's unorganized. I'm having people email me, text me. I told everybody, this is the way to get in contact with me. You're not gonna have me messed up and I'm missing appointments. That's dumb. That's dumb. It's not necessary. Like, just go to one place. You don't go to Target's DMs and try to get an order. So do you?
And then that's why this is why I say what I say. I said, even for friends and family, I know when you have family, they'll probably, their tendency to come to you. I understand. The only reason why I'll tolerate family is because a lot of my family they're old school and they're not used to that, so I accept it. But my friends, like, come on. Y'all know if y'all go on the Gucci or Louis Vuitton website, y'all go directly to the website, right? You might be on their page to find what you're looking at, but you're not gonna deal. So treat me the same way you would treat those businesses. Don't treat me any different because we know each other. Like, yes, I'll hook you up because we know each other. I'll give you the discount. Like, I don't have a problem doing that because you're my friend. But treat me as though you would treat a well-known business, and you have to go to their website and stuff. So I want the same respect, and I want people to do the same thing. But with my businesses, I keep it strictly business. But my personal page, I've learned to clean it up, and like I'll post personal images here and there. I love to travel, so on my little storyline on my personal page, you'll see like I tagged all the places I've been to. I started not keeping track, but like someone wants to go see where I've been at, I'll tag the place, and they're like, oh, she went here, I want to go here. Like, that's why I have a tendency when I travel, I don't have a problem with tagging. I don't have a problem with people hitting me up like, oh, where's that at? Because there's some people who are low-key selfish for sharing where they've been. Like, they won't tell you.
I can tell you, I used to be like that, but that's what the relationship that I was in taught me, to hide.
Well, that's your situation.
Wait, to hide what? Like,
hide everything. Like, make everybody like envy you with nothing more. Like, so if you look at my page from like 2016, I didn't divulge as much information because he thought it was wrong, or I don't know what the right word is. It wasn't good to share like stuff. Like, it was so odd. Now that I'm myself today.
Now you're outside of it looking.
It's like I wouldn't tag where I was. I wouldn't say where I was. It would just be like I would be gone all the time. Like, I didn't share anything about myself. So like it just flipped when I became more Lakeisha. And I understand.
So
today hates us. That's all.
Literally today. So with
I think it's the conversation is just so good. It's like, all right, y'all getting carried away.
Yeah, y'all getting way too carried away. Government's listening, so it's like end it.
They're talking about racism. They're talking about slavery. We don't like that shit,
right?
So like with like with the business aspect of it, like, you know, like you said with the algorithm, like, even my boyfriend has sent us, I sent it to you, the screenshot of, like, when to, like, you literally have to figure out when to post to get your most views, and when people, that you can grab your target audience, because there's a certain time people won't see it. It's crazy how, like, I'll just post something, and people won't see it. And it's like, I literally just posted it, and why aren't people viewing it? And it's like, it's weird. Like, I keep in mind that sometimes when we are posting, people are at work. Yeah. And so some people literally will not.
Peggy actually sent me something with the best times to post. Was that what the one you said?
Yeah, that's the one he shared.
The best times to post, and I was like, all right, bet, say less.
I usually just post.
Me too.
Because and then what I would do is like the times where I know people either on a commute home or on lunch. That's the times I like to post. I just reshare, and then I like to do engagements. So I'll spend maybe 15, 20, sometimes it goes to an hour, just going into the people that follow me and just going in and genuinely liking their pictures. Being like, oh my God, you have a beautiful family. Like, and only things that I really, really mean. I don't make it up because I really don't want to be fake. Yeah. That's just like where I'm at. I really don't. And I was like, oh my God, your shoes are so dope. Like, things like that. And what I was saying is I get personal with my business page to a limit because I'm going into people's homes. I want them to trust me and know who I am, at least from because I think social media can tell a person, like, what kind of person they are. Yeah. Like, even if it's like, oh, damn, that person's insecure because all they do is post whatever, right? Or they're just like this. But for me, I post who I am with work and all the things because I want people to just see. Like, I'm genuine about what I'm saying. So,
I mean, I think that has a clear indicator of, like, you having to hide that for so long.
God,
and that's not who you are as a person.
Girl, that was, it sounds easy to hide everything, but it won't work because of the type of person I am.
Yes, exactly.
So, no one will see me on vacations with somebody because I wasn't allowed to, and we said we're going to put a pin in it. Because guess what? Even though we're like, oh, I shouldn't have to validate my relationship on social media, here I was being like, how come we can't post any pictures of each other? And he really hated it. We got mad arguments
11
over
years?
it. I was on social media as long as that relationship. And I wasn't allowed to, and we got in a lot of arguments over it. And he's like, he made a point, like, and that's only manipulation, okay? Yeah. And gaslighting, like, oh, I don't want nobody talking about us, and da-da-da. Here's the thing. When it all ended, he was dealing with so many girls.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the thing. Yeah. For me, it's like, no. I'm in a secure place. You're not validating shit. Yeah. You are just showing people your life. You're showing people everything else. Yeah. How come you can't even show them that we went to dinner? Or we just took a nice picture. We take mad pictures together. So what's the problem? So like on the flip side, I love taking pictures as a person. Like I'm a model in my mind. Like I love taking pictures. So why? What's the problem? Our fits were cute. Yeah. And I'm talking about my relationship now. Like our fits are cute. We dress alike. We dress similar in the same color. I want to show people how good we look. Like exactly. It's not validation. It's just like you're hiding something more than you want to show people. So that for me is an issue.
Yeah, and I've learned that too because there's a difference between putting all your business out there, but just simply sharing your love. Like if you're like you said, you're sharing everything else. You share what you do everything else. So why can't you
your damn plate for the umpteenth time?
Why can't you share your significant other? Like I've kept it to a minimum, but like when me and my significant other now have found that space and we felt comfortable, I did post them, and a lot of people knew him, and I'm like, you're fucking popular because people are like, but is that you? And because that's his nickname, and I don't call him that, but people call him that. That's what they know him as. And it's like, you know, I felt good, and I felt in a space where, like you said, like you've gone through a relationship where you had traumas and triggers, and this person is here showing me that, you know, and we as women,
did y'all have the Sierra prayer before y'all got to that shit? Because
baby, I had the Lakeisha prayer. Let me tell you something. Listen, this is why I love my relationship with my boyfriend now, because it is everything that I wrote down. Yeah. All after going through all that, I remember taking this space to be, of course, alone. And I wrote down these things as because I was vlogging a lot because I couldn't find a therapist, and I needed to get it all out because I was getting straight up played to my face. Didn't even know it. On top, you would, and to think about it, on top of abuse, he was just playing the shit out of me. Like he didn't give. Like when you realize that someone really didn't love you after a decade of taking all your 20s, it tears you
down.
up.
Yeah.
And down and around and upside. Like, you are a hot mess.
Yeah.
So, like, in that moment, because I love,
yeah.
I wrote, like, all these things that I wanted. And it had nothing to do with physical.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was literally like, God, the only way I'm going to love again is if da-da-da-da-da. And dating my boyfriend now was very I was so anxious I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
For 3-4 months of us just talking and dating and getting to know each other.
No food stop this show because I'm gonna eat unless I'm sick. That's her coping mechanism.
Because I made a bad choice.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like a lot of like paying attention, and I was like, oh, you ain't gonna fool me with no, because my ex was so abusive, but then he'll take me out to dinner. With my own money, child. With my own money. He will take me out to dinner with my own money.
I'm triggered.
Okay?
See,
it's the fake flossing for me.
Yeah. See, the thing is, and I remember some of my friends, because they didn't understand the degree in which it was bad, right? So I don't fault them for saying these things. But my friends were complaining about their man not being financially in a space where they could take care of both of them. So they had to supplement that, right? And then I'm over here complaining about my man at the time, and they're like, yo, but your man pays for everything. Like, yo, I literally had to
Let me
argue.
tell you how much that matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I remember because I had to literally fight with this man to pay a bill. Because he was like, you don't have to pay no bills. But that's the thing, though. When you're paying for everything, you have a one-up on me, and you can throw it in my face. And I didn't like that shit. So I didn't want to give him that.
And that's an okay place to be in when you're in a healthy relationship.
But
like, my sister was a stay-at-home mom for about 1.5 years. Mom and wife. But because I was in my raggedy relationship at the time, I was scared for her. But my brother-in-law takes the best care of my sister, and she don't have to want for nothing. And they're not like well off. They're
but
regular,
they balance each other.
But they balance each other.
Yeah.
Now it's like when you're in an abusive relationship, that's a control mechanism.
Oh yeah.
What he would do, he would just control all the money. Mind you, like I said what I said. It was my money. He put himself in my business. And the business was successful. And that's the thing, like putting these narcissistic people in these places.
I heard about the word narcissistic.
Baby, it's a narcissistic abuse. Let me tell you, narcissistic abusive relationship.
Yeah, so I learned that reading a book, and I was like, wow, this sounds like my boyfriend. And then I started reading more, and I read up on the word, because I've heard it, but I didn't understand what it meant. And then when I read it, I'm like,
it's
whoa,
sick.
this
It's
is
a
him.
disease. It's a disease. It's a disease.
Yeah,
literally.
Because they don't even know that they are. They're just so conniving. And they just they have so many schemes. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
I truly understand where you're coming from, because like, with that, it's like the space that I'm in. Like you said, the last relationship I was in, I broke it off because I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. But then I started dating. I was still dating here and there, but then I realized, okay, Peggy, you need to take time for yourself, because the last dude I was entertaining or whatever, we never got into a full-fledged relationship, but we were just getting to know each other. And I think I was telling you this nigga pulled some shit and ghosted me, and I was like, wow. I mean, you could have been honest about it, but whatever. But my
was
thing
this
is,
the one you made me drive by the house?
No, not the drive by. No, the girl, that was years ago. But no, this one, it was before the pandemic hit. Like, after I realized, okay, this nigga is like corny. He obviously he's probably entertaining somebody else instead of being real about his shit. Mind you slid in my DM asking me questions, but I realized, okay, I'm gonna take a break and stay to myself. So I took that time to stay to myself, and like I was already getting the therapy prior to that. Staying to myself, being in tune with myself, like traveling more. And even when I was dating that guy that did ghost me, I was still doing things that I wanted to do. Like, still doing my therapy, taking trips, doing things. Like, I would hit up Jessica, let's do the museum. They have something going on in the museum. Let's do this, let's do that. Having time for my friends. And I still make the time for my friends now.
Absolutely. That's because you're in a healthy relationship.
Yes. And prior to getting into the relationship, I always made sure that I was always in making time for my friends and family and stuff like that. So, when I started dealing with my significant other now, we knew each other years prior. Like, we did go on a few dates, but I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't feeling him at the time. I felt like he wasn't applying enough pressure for me. So I was like, all right, I'm done.
Okay.
So
no. I remember you saying like he only spoke like when the conversations that you guys had, it was very vain. Like, it was all about her, like, her looks.
My look.
And he wasn't really trying to divulge in, like, who she was as a person. And, of course, like, Peggy is pretty, but she's a lot more than just looks.
But you know what's so dope? That you revisited the relationship, and he probably has grown so much.
No, he has. Yeah. So he did say that. Like, he'll joke about it. He's like, you just left me. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, we wasn't even together. But no, like, we gave it a shot again. Yeah. And he's the one that, mind you, prior to that, during the pandemic, he hit me up, like, checking on me to see how I was doing, and the concept of, you know, working from home, and he'll check in on me, and random about checking on him. And I think one of the sweetest things he's done for me, and we weren't even talking, he literally hit me up, like, oh, I know it's Teachers Appreciation Week, do you want lunch? And, you know, things weren't open yet, you can just pick up food. He literally picked up the food from Zaz. Amazing spot. Love that.
I love Zaz. Have your patient pants on. But I love me some Zaz. The other day I was gonna get some and I was like, well, I don't got time to wait. Yeah. But I gotta come back.
They're good. He picked up the food, and I'm thinking he's only dropping the food off, and he shows up with like a little basket with flowers, 2 things of wine, and the food, and he's like, okay, I hope you enjoy it, and then left. Like, he drove from Hyde Park to Brockton, and I had literally just like 2 months and moved into Brockton, dropped off. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Oh my God. And I was very appreciative of that. And then like around later on that summer, he randomly hits me up. He's like, I honestly feel like you're supposed to be my dream girl. And, you know, of course, when I seen the text, I rolled my eyes.
Of course.
Whatever. I know he's going to see this, but like, here she go. And I said, you know why I stopped talking to you the first place? And he's like, yeah, I know. And then I was on the phone with my girl. She's like, I think you should give him a trans P. Like, give him a chance. You don't know what might happen. Da, 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 da. So I was like, all right, fine. So we started talking again. And, like, we really, literally took our time getting to know each other, really having conversations.
And this was during pandemic?
Yes.
I love pandemic for dating. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front.
It really
a lot of lovers came out of that.
It forces you to...
No, and that's good. It's top of the pandemic. I literally
it was like, it's too much.
But it depends, because even for the pandemic one, for the dating, it forced people to be creative.
Yes. We went on so many pictures.
You're not booking restaurants.
No.
Now you're forced to look face to face. Some people got creative where they ordered the food for the person, food sent to their house, and they FaceTime each other and talking to each other. So if if a person is really into you and they're going to apply pressure.
I agree.
It depends. I mean, pandemic,
as you may.
Pandemic forced people to realize what the fuck they were really doing. That's why they're not.
That is true. I will say that. Like, honestly, like, it's a lot. Never mind.
No, it is. No, I know. That's another session in itself. But no, with like social media, and then like with me and him, like, you know, I forgot what conversation we had. He literally sat down. I was getting my makeup done. I don't know what the hell I said to him before, and he literally sat down. He's like, look at me, and I'm like, what? And he goes, I want you to like stop being so defensive. Like, I'm not here to, I forgot the words verbatim, but I'm not here to hurt you. I want us to have conversations. Don't ever say that. Da, da, da. And it was like, me and him have never argued. Like, we had disagreements.
Yo, it's the cutest thing though, because they
don't
yell anymore. They're so soft with each other. Because I was like, Peggy's like, oh, you're about to leave. Let me just get. It was at her birthday party. She's like, oh, let me just get you a cake. And he wanted people to sing happy birthday to her, but it wasn't her birthday, right? Mm-hmm. She celebrated slightly early, like a few days early.
Yeah.
And Peggy's like, no, it's not my birthday. I don't want nobody to sing happy birthday to me. Like, no. And so she's cutting the cake. He's like, can you talk to your friend? Like, I just want people to sing happy birthday for her. People are here to celebrate her birthday. And she's like, but I don't, like, they're so soft with each other. But you can tell they disagree. I was like, I just want my cake so I can go home.
You know, I know, like, leave me out of it. But you know what? You make me feel so much better, because that's my boyfriend and I. Yeah. And I literally was, like, thinking, like, okay, I know we're not being fake. Mm-hmm. But we have this agreement to dissolve an issue. Like, of course we're not going to agree all the time, but we haven't had a full blown out argument, screaming match. Like, of course we disagree, but it's been on this level of like, we're both grown and we can figure out, we can talk it out, take a break if need be, and come back and just figure out like, okay, well, this is how we can get on even playing fields again. So that makes me feel good, because it doesn't seem fake. And like, people that have been together for years and years, they looking at me like, y'all never fight? And I'm like, It's not that it's not a fight. It's just.
And why does fight
know how
have to
to
associate with love?
It's not. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, there will be times that, I don't know, like when we're married and living together, it'll be different. But right now, we really are working on communication skills. Like, that's intention.
Yeah.
That's an intention. Like, I don't want to scream at you.
When people say that they're living in toxic spaces and they only know relationships to be in its toxicity. And not when someone who is you're a whole person now because you've done the work. He's his whole person now, and you guys are knowing. Y'all have the tools to communicate properly.
Right.
Y'all know what you guys want. Right. I think it's so different when you're dating in your 30s. Like,
oh baby,
in your 20s, you're just like,
and pandemic sprinkled on top, where you literally had to just be like this. There was no movies.
Yes.
There was none of that. Like, literally, and that's just as a thing.
No,
I haven't had sex. We haven't had sex. It's been a year and a half. And it's just, that's something that I do.
A lot of.
Baby, it comes from my tippy toes. I be like, listen. But it's something we agree. I should be like, listen, can you not breathe on me like that right now? Because
why are you breathing?
That level of discipline is wild.
But again, because of my relationship prior, I knew that this time around, and we agreed to it. This was a we thing. Yeah. It wasn't like I don't want to. Yeah. It's a we thing. So when I told him I wasn't, when I was celibate, so it's been 3.5 years. Yeah. He realized, he was like, oh yeah, me too. Like, I've been doing, I want to do that. And I'm like, great, because I'm not breaking that. And I need to know who the hell you are, because I already been in a fake ass relationship for 10 years. Imagine that. So it's something beautiful about wholeness, healthiness, and just intention, like true intention.
I like, so when you was talking, to add to what you're saying, when you're saying like how some people think like if the person isn't fighting, like that's true. You know, it's not healthy. Yeah. I remember one time, this was years ago, someone had said like, and I think I agree with them because I didn't know better. Yeah. Something along the lines like, oh, like, you know, that's not a real relationship if y'all don't like fight or something like that. Not physically, but don't fight. And I'm like, and then now that I'm older, I know better, I realize there will get to that point where you both may be heated about something and you guys may be yelling at each other. It might happen, but I feel like... But
it'll come a place from where you're a whole person, he's a whole person, and you guys understand how to communicate in a productive way. Not
like y'all both toxic and you're saying crazy shit to each other. So no, we've had disagreements where we're like... And then we'll like give each other space and he'll come back like, babe, I apologize. You know, I didn't
at least you can apologize for your part. Because it's like, okay... it is not about right and wrong. When you're an adult and you really understand, like, it's not about right or wrong.
It's like, love being right. Fucking love being
Yo, being wrong is like,
what is that?
You know, I'm the first one to say sorry in most times, but again, dating a Cancer as a Cancer has been one of the best moves that I feel like. It's like God is so funny because he put me with a
nice. I would never date a Virgo man.
Well, I think it depends on the sign. So like we have like when we started dating, we would say heavy on the Cancer vibes because we just literally just been staring at each other. That's the emotion, because it's like for so long we've dealt with other
people,
and then now we have this connection that's like, sometimes it's unspeakable. It's crazy. Like, I don't have to say much. He already knows. If he talks to me and my tone is a certain tone, he's like, ooh, I know she's in a mood. And he doesn't have to be like, what's wrong with you? Get yourself together. Like, again, being in that type of relationship prior where it was really aggressive, being with somebody that's emotionally available.
So, I mean, I don't know if you want to dive into this, and we can do it off air if you want to. But what decision, like, what were your intentions when you said, I'm going to remove sex from the equation to be in this relationship? Or, like, why was sex a problem that you needed to be like, I'm going to wait until we're married? Well, I don't know what the wait
I can answer that right now, honey. I can. Easily. For me, the reason why sex was being removed from me is because I needed to see with my eyes, not my eyes. Yeah. Men aren't the only one with two heads, okay? I needed to see, and there was a lot, like, as I go through therapy and self-healing, I realized that there was a lot of red flags that I missed in my last relationship. I should have been, year one, I already knew I didn't want to be with him, but it kept being like, oh, we're intimate, and too much cloudedness. Yeah. So for me, it was like sober mind, sober dating, intention. Like, listen, if you can get past this part, you know you want to marry me soon or not. We don't have to waste time. I'm not, and for me, I'm tired of giving away my body, and there is no commitment for real.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that last relationship, he was getting wifey stuff.
Oh Lord, we talked about that before.
True, like when I say wifey. Okay, making sure my boob ain't coming. Wifey.
Yes, exactly.
He didn't even deserve it.
11 years, like that's technically marriage.
Common law.
After 7, yeah.
He was a partner in my business that I started.
Yeah.
All the wifey things, okay?
Did you have to dissolve that company in order to dissolve from him?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how good God is. That business got dissolved because the papers and everything was going to his house because his house was our office. Mm-hmm. He wasn't picking up the mail, and he didn't pay the corporate taxes, so the business got dissolved. Mm-hmm. And it was the best mistake he could ever make because otherwise I would have had to pay. Mm-hmm. And I was actually, what started that was like I went to a lawyer to figure out how can I buy him out of my business, or how can I just be out. I didn't want nothing to do with it. Yeah. My peace meant everything to me at that point because I was literally feeling like I was going crazy, especially because at the end what he decided to do was start dating one of our employees just to make me feel like, look what you're missing.
Embarrassing.
And he tried to embarrass me. He tried to, honey. He didn't embarrass me because here's the thing. She was 20. She was 20 years old.
He wanted to meet Jesus very early. Very early.
He wanted to embarrass me, but what I did know is that I knew that relation, like just knowing him as a person, this girl was 20 years old, okay, from Brazil.
I am not
20 years old, from Brazil, and she thought she was coming up. She didn't know that this man is abusive. So all I did was like, listen, I'm sorry, sis, that you think you're getting involved with somebody that is good. He don't have a car. He don't have nothing together. All his money is tied to me. So you really think you're on the come up, but you're really just you're about to deal with an abusive situation. I'm so sorry. I really felt bad for her. So and here's the thing, we had already your face. I broke up with him. I can't even
imagine having my coworker.
No, my employee.
Okay, yes, sorry, yes.
It's worse.
Yes.
But the thing is, I broke up with him June 2019, and January 2020. He calls himself being like, I'm dating so-and-so. And I'm like, are you joking?
This is what I was telling Peggy in the last episode. When she was like, oh, because I remember saying, I'm like, it's not as easy as just saying like, hey, I cheated. Because if a man came up to me after he cheated on me, right, and says, hey, I want to tell you something, I cheated. So bluntly, I feel like you're like, there's no regard for me in that. Mm-hmm. You're just like, I know, I'm going to just tell you what it is, and then you're just going to deal with it how you deal with it. Mm-hmm. You ain't going nowhere. I feel like when you're cheating or whatever, it's never as simple as just admitting to cheating, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it is, but he wasn't cheating. I mean, I don't know what he's doing because he clearly was doing whatever he wanted. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, he had just started dating her to invest in the pain. So his plan of attack was, who's the closest person to Keisha?
Yep.
That I can prove that because he was trying to get back with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we really, like, this is over. Yeah. But me being nice, being like, I don't want to take food off his table and fire him.
Yeah.
We were still working together. So now here's this girl who was like in a manager position in my business because she was that good. Mm-hmm. He decided to take interest, which I knew he was. It didn't matter, but I knew that he was just doing it on purpose. Yeah. Because it's like she had been working for us for 2 years at that point. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, you found interest in her because your brother told you should. No. But again, you had to be there to know, like, it, because I had broke up with him June, like I said, 2019. And he was for all those months trying to get back with me. And I was like, no, for real, this is over. Like, we are not compatible. Yeah. I don't want to be with you. I didn't bring up abuse because abusive people don't think they're abusive. Mm-hmm. And that was it. He thought I was dating someone else, which I wasn't. I was thoroughly alone. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to get back at me to do this. Now, I didn't want to find out more about him, but I found out he did this in every relationship. He did this in every relationship. Mm-hmm. He likes to invest in people's pain when he doesn't get his way because he's a child. Yep. Even though he's 35, he's a child. So that was my cue where God was like, you still want to be associated with him? And I'm like, absolutely not. I don't care how successful. And mind you, the business was making 6 figures.
Ooh.
3 times. You hear me?
Yeah.
I was like, when I found out that the business was dissolved because of him, I was like, God, that was the best news I've ever got.
Yeah. That was definitely.
So when he was doing that, so to try to tie into social media, because
Yes.
your situation is kind of similar, but not to the extent where like he like my ex directly went and dated someone that like I knew or worked with. It was like we took a break. Remember the last one when I was talking about accountability? We broke up, and I said, okay, in order for us to go to this next phase in our relationship, because it was about to be 5 years, let's we need a break, because I feel like we're not going anywhere. We're still stuck. So let's take a break, find ourselves, and if it's meant to be, we'll be together. And this dude, instead of taking the time to work on himself, he proceeded to entertain other women. At the time, I never posted my personal information, so Snapchat was a big thing. And he had taken upon himself to delete me off of social media. And then people who did not know we were no longer together saw that he was posting things with other women, and people hitting up my friend, who's his cousin. Oh my God, what's going on? Is posting this with this girl, like, is such and such with that? Is still together? And she's like, I don't know, because she told me like, P is not my place to tell people, blah blah. So I knew he was doing it, and she even said it. She's like, P, he's just doing it to get to you, because he wants you to call him or hit him up to say, oh really, you're really like the other side of me really wanted to hit him up like, what the fuck are you doing, like going off, like that's me, like riling up, like get me riled up to really rash him, but I never did. Something deeper in me said, Peggy, that's what he wants you to do, do not do it. Don't. And then he finally posted his new woman, brought her over to his mother's for Thanksgiving, all this other stuff.
I made the same damn face.
Posted on social media like this whole thick ass paragraph about this woman, and people who knew, because we were together for a while, people was like, wait a minute, why is he talking about this woman as though you did nothing? The way he talks about this woman is like, I was there for 4 or 5 years. Like, sir, like I came in seeing you doing your photography. I gave you advice.
Those are just hurt words. He was hurt, so
he was hurt. He's hurt because I decided like, yo, we need a break. Instead of you working on yourself and saying like, oh, okay,
it's on to the next.
Let me move on to the next.
Because he's insecure, he can't be by himself.
So it's like, okay, cool. So have I gotten into other relationships after him that weren't so great? Yeah, but I learned from them, and I learned to not stay.
You got out of it quick, Exactly.
I learned not to stay
long. That's the lesson you learned.
Like, oh no, not staying long. And then now I take my time to the point where like I'm intentional, and then there's certain things that I'm still working on, because as a human being we don't get things overnight. That now I found someone who truly loves me, cares for me, is very patient with me, because he even said like, yo, you need patience. I don't know how you have patience with students and you don't have patience with adults. I'm like, it's just different for adults. So I love the way that he loves me and takes his time with me and very patient. And one time jokingly I said to him, I'm like, I don't know why you men like kissing women on the forehead, but when you kiss it on the forehead, you're inviting Satan, because I will go fucking crazy. Because I feel like kissing me on the forehead is like special to me.
I agree.
It's more than just the lips or the cheek. It's like that forehead is like, I love you so much. Like you kiss a woman on the forehead. So I'm like, listen, you're entering dangerous territory if you keep kissing my fucking forehead. But no, I love the way he loves me. My family likes him. They love him. And I love the way how we are with each other, so that we don't feel the need that we always post each other on social media. But when we do certain things, he's the one that got me into.
Is that like a red flag? If you're dating someone and they said, hey, I don't post my personal. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, my hand's up before the question's over.
Like, I already know what you're gonna ask.
Well, just for me, because I feel like my friend is married. She's been married for 5 years, and she doesn't post her husband that often. But I know that that's not their issue. But for me, it's an issue because of what I know. And when he wasn't posting me and we were getting in arguments about it, I had this little inkling in the pit of my stomach, like, what is he hiding?
Yeah.
But didn't realize.
You had that question. Me, the moment I knew the trend, the moment my ex nigga wasn't posting me, or he was arguing about posting me, he was already fucking somebody else. Because that year when we were going to break up, we went out to eat for Valentine's Day. And he took it upon himself, as we're sitting across each other, oh, babe, I can't wait to post this. Mind you, I didn't say, oh, are you going to post it? He said he's going to post it. So, a week goes by. I'm like, wait. I turn around and look at him like, I think he said he was going to post that picture of us at, Valentine's. Said, oh, I'm going to post it. He had a big-ass argument, trying to argue with me about it. I was like, all right, cool. And then, that's why I think God purposely gave us women intuition, because he knew some of these niggas wasn't going to be shit. So he's like, I'm going to give you a seventh sense.
I just wish we stopped questioning that.
We question it so much. Like,
girl, you don't know what you're talking about.
No.
And
you gotta trust what you know.
No,
yes.
exactly.
And I was never wrong in that sense. And you know what I also learned too, with him in particular, I can't say all men, but him in particular, and maybe some men, the ones that are doing wrong, it's like, if you don't have the hardcore evidence, they will deny it. They will die on that fucking hill with the denial.
But they so sloppy, you end up finding it.
But that's the thing, though.
They can't.
It's so bad.
And it's like the thing.
You don't even gotta look either. Too.
Some men too with the routine, but prior to social media, with the routine, it's like, and I said it before. I'm like, the reason why a lot of y'all get caught and y'all say, "Oh, women we're more conniving when we cheat," is because with us. I can't speak for myself, but women, when we do decide to cheat, if it does come to that point, we keep the routine going. We'll still pick up the kids if kids are involved. We still cook dinner. We still do all the things we need to do. But y'all, you still get your dick sucked. But with men, when y'all start finding interest in another woman, you forget the woman that you have at home. You too tired to have sex now. So okay, you too tired now. Every single day you're tired. Okay, so y'all stop the routine. But now with social media, all it takes is that woman to hit you up on your DMs. Yeah. Before it was your phone. They find you easily.
Because here I am, like, even though I wasn't getting posted, I was still like commenting and liking his pictures. Yeah. No one slid in my DMs because he was that conniving. He made everybody think that they were friends. He made me think I was a friend. He made her think she was a friend, and this girl was a friend, and that girl was a friend, and these are all friends.
So he's Future's son.
Yeah, that's my friend. That's my best friend.
No,
that's what he. One girl that I knew they were friends. Because long story, I won't even go into it. She hit me up to clean her house.
Oh, bitch! I would have died.
She hit me up to clean her house.
No.
And I get to the house because I don't meet people at first. Obviously, I just then when I go to do the estimate or to just take a look, because she insisted, and usually I don't, especially with COVID. I get to the house and I'm like, I know this house because I cleaned this house before. Oh shoot, it's so and so. So we go through the tour. She's pregnant. She's married, not to him, but she's pregnant and now in a healthy relationship. Mind you, long story. I will just shorten it, child. There's so many little pieces to it, but she apologized to me, and I'm like, she's like, I'm sorry for da da da. He just told me y'all was friends. He just da 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 da. After like, and I was like, well, I mean, thank you for apologizing because he told me y'all was just friends, and you was at his grandmother's house and all that. Mind you, he lived at his grandmother's house and all that, and like, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I think you all qualify for compensation.
Baby, I need compensation. He can't even. Nobody can afford.
If you or anyone in your family or friend group have dealt with such, you qualify for compensation.
And it was just shady. And that's the thing. And this is why, like, when sex clouds your judgment, especially when you're in a place like I was in my 20s, I should have been getting to know myself. That's why 33-year-old Keisha's like, yep, skateboarding, singing, dancing, that. I want to do all the things because I want to know who I am. I want to be a well-rounded self. And when I was doing, like, when I was just having sex with him, doing wifey wifey stuff, you're telling people that I'm your friend. You are in my 6-figure business for the 3rd year. After not investing nothing in it. No.
Guys.
You know, I think today, since the topic's been so good that technology has been fucking with us, like I said before, I think FBI is listening and they're like, and this shit. No, for real, overall, social media,
it has its pros and cons, and
I think
you just have to know what works for you. Really. Anything in life. I mean, think about it. I remember one book I was reading a couple of years ago where it said, like, what was the company? Dodge. They had refused to, no, not Dodge, because Dodge still exists. Chrysler. When the cars were changing from the box shape to like more aerodynamic, that company, the owner had refused. And a lot of times that's why they say you gotta get with it or lose out. That's why a lot of businesses got sold out because they didn't want to change. Like Blockbuster, Netflix wanted to buy out Blockbuster. Oh my God,
can you imagine that, L?
And they refused because at the time
Netflix, like one Blockbuster still open.
I think so. Or I think it finally closed down. And mind you, Netflix at the time wasn't even streaming. They were sending people DVDs. Like, you sign up for DVDs.
I remember.
How about this? So at my job, I work in property management, and a tenant, for whatever reason, decides she wants to put her mail down a mail chute that hasn't been available since like the 1900s, right? Like since like 1902. And she's like, oh my God, like I really need this mail because there's like money in there. So cool, we do what we gotta do. We retrieve the mail, but in the process of that, we found other mail from like 2002, 2004, like parking tickets, all this stuff. We found a Netflix DVD. It was Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I was like, yo, this has to be from like 2004. Yeah, girl. So Netflix was like, all right, Blockbuster, you're dumb.
Yeah,
We're
so
gonna do
they lost out on that. So the thing with social media, it is constantly moving. Even artists, at one point, you know, I mean, I was one of those people, like, you know, downloading shit through LimeWire, and they were opposed to it, and then they had to shift. People were no longer buying CDs.
Yeah.
We don't even fucking buy DVDs.
Right.
Yeah. You're streaming now. You stream music. Now it's the streaming numbers that makes it if you're number one right now or number two or whatever. So it's constantly changing. And yes, some people, it may be unfortunate. I know music is constantly changing, but with social media, we are able to expand and move around. As always, there's always going to be conflict. And I feel like that's what everything, like even with the internet, when the internet first came out, it's a way to communicate through things. But now we know there's harm behind the internet. If someone posts a naked image of you, that shit is there forever until you hopefully can get a judge to like dead that shit. And that's really hard. So that's why like revenge porn is a crime. In a lot of states, someone can serve time for doing that. Like if something that I share with my significant other, now they're mad that we're not together, and they say, you know what, I'm just gonna post your naked picture on the internet. You can serve time for that. It depends on the state. Certain state has their own rules, but I know Cali is big on that. But like, I feel like social media, like you said, it's a way to connect people. I've connected with people that don't even live in Massachusetts, and they like my shit. Like my List Body Utopia, I've sent my shit as far as Alabama. I sent it to Cali. Those people I've never seen before, but they see my product, they see my stuff, and it is a good thing. But it's like, I feel like if you're a good person and you're using it for good things, you don't have nothing to worry about. It's the people who have nothing.
Up and up. If you're not a shady person, you're good too.
Yeah, it's the people who are evil, who probably have low self-esteem, that probably would never love properly, and now they're projecting that on people on social media, and they're quick with their little thumbs typing hurtful shit.
Everybody has an opinion.
Everyone has an opinion. Everyone got something to say. Everyone wants to be WebMD now. Like, oh well, like, did you go to school for this?
Could you imagine how much people think they know everything, but yet your coins don't match?
You know,
100. Listen, I used to be super self-insecure when I would see these people like, and they're living the life. And I'm like, wow, like what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, I think I make decent money. I think I'm like sufficient enough to afford these trips. But I'm like, okay, like priorities, of course. I gotta make sure those are taken care of. And I'm like, where, like these motherfuckers? I never see them at work, and it's because they faking the funk.
Yeah, and a lot of them have to come, especially back in 2020, where they're coming back and like, oh, I'm depressed. I have been depressed for years. Or you think this life is great, but it's not. I'm taking a break and I'm not doing this no more. And it's like, and again, I had a low level of that, like knowing what that feels like. You do feel so insecure, and social media is like this fake boost.
Yes.
It's a
and that's why I don't take what people post. I've learned over time not to take what people post. Because I never was like big on, oh my God, like I have to be that way too. No. But there was a point when Instagram first started, and people would post things like, oh, like, their relationship looks so nice, da 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 da. And not realizing that person's getting beat to a pulp. Oh, God. Or that person's being emotional, the person's cheating on them, or they're embarrassed. And
going through that, and maybe I can spot it now.
Yes. So now
that's a huge trigger.
Yes.
I'm like, that's on girl.
And me, I'm big on vibes, and a lot of times people may think like, oh, she's like not talkative. I'm the type of person, I'm very observant. I like to get the vibe first, and people may think like I don't want to socialize or whatever, but it's certain people's vibes I don't rock with. And then when the truth comes out, I was like, see, this is why I really wasn't with that.
I indulge in that. Like when I'm right, I'm like, oh, I told you I was right, bitch.
And you know, a lot of people don't like hearing, oh, I told you so. But sometimes I know we're trying to refrain from doing that, but sometimes you do need to be told.
Sometimes you gotta be like, you gotta know where your wisdom came from. Because I like in a nicer way, like I told you that was gonna happen, but you gotta know, like especially if it's friend to friend, like I tried to tell you because you gotta understand that I'm not coming for you. I'm just
and it's not coming from a hurtful place. I'm really trying to. Like, that's why
I can see the outside, of course.
I think it was on the Real, and someone had said like, would you, if you saw your friend's boyfriend cheating on your friend, would you tell him? And I was reading the comments, and a lot of people saying like, what's the point of telling them they're gonna stick by them and blah blah blah. So I'm an example of that. I had a friend who told me I was never mad at her for her telling me. I never said, oh, why are you telling me?
But you never did anything with that information.
I never did anything with the information. Like I confronted him about it. Of course he's gonna deny it, but she literally told me clear as day what the fuck he was wearing, what he looked like, who the fuck he was with, and she called me right then and there. And I listen. At the end of the day, if I see my friend getting cheated on, whatever she chooses to do with that information, that is on her. But I'm going to tell her that because I feel like I'm holding something in, and this nigga smiling in her face, he was just kissed up, hugged up with another bitch. Like, no, I'm still gonna tell her now what she chooses to do with that information. That's on her. But I'll let her know, like, this is not coming from a hurtful place. I don't want your man. Clearly, I don't. Yeah. But this is just to let you know, like, this is what I saw. What you choose to do with that is your business.
And there's no judgment coming from me because I already know what it feels like to be in a relationship, knowing that you shouldn't be in the relationship, but you don't know how to get out of it.
Girl,
regardless of the information, it's a lot. It's like I always tell people this when they confide in me in their relationship problems. I'm like, whatever you decide to do with this, even though you have all these facts, I can't judge you for that because I don't even know what mental headspace or emotional headspace, emotional space that you're into. You don't. Like, sometimes when you're invested in so long, like it's so hard to just get up.
That was me. You said 11. Mine was 7 years, and like you said, sex does cloud your judgment. Mine was more like I was young. Yep. Met him at 15. Yep. Yes, he took my virginity. Yeah. So that was like, okay, oh my god, right. My life and blah blah blah. Over time, I never kept sex as the reason why I should stay. Part of it was because I was so in love with this person, and you know, us women. He can change.
He's gonna change if I just.
He will. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. He will. It's just not for you.
Yes. And it's unfortunate. But
because you're not the person that he's willing to change for. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't even be doing half the shit that he's been doing, especially after you've already addressed it.
Yes, exactly. So, but now I learn as a woman, when I see other women on social media like going through it. It irritates me, but then I also understand where they come from because I'm like, that was me when I thought, okay, if I do this, he'll stop doing that. Maybe now I realize my worth now as a woman, realizing it's not me. That's a reflection of him.
Yeah, that's his own damn problem.
That's his own issue. He doesn't see how good of a person I am. He doesn't want to make that change. Like we all know, we seen these quotes across social media a lot of times. If a person wants to change, they will change. Yeah, you can't force someone to change at all, especially a grown-ass adult. You cannot force an adult to change. Right. If they realize, and like I said, the last episode, accountability. If they realize, okay, I'm fucking up, and I see that I'm hurting my significant other, male or female, I need to take accountability to what I'm doing and make those changes to show, and also be understanding that when you do fuck up, especially if it was a public display of fuck up, you have to give that person time to understand where it's going to take time for them to forgive you and go, and not necessarily go back to the space y'all were, but work and move on from that. Right. That's another thing too. Sometimes the person who does a fuck up expects you to like forgive them and move on the next day. Like, sir, like you triggered me. You've done all this type of shit. This is going to take time. It's like you cut yourself. The wound doesn't heal that fast. It takes time. Yeah, it's going to scab up a little bit. Even then they say don't pick at the scab. So I just got hurt. Give me some time to heal. As long as I'm not intentionally keep bringing up the past, because clearly I'm not over if I keep bringing up the past. And that's another reason why I told myself I refuse to go back to an ex, because I know that if I go back to this person, the things that hurt me might trigger me. Even if they're doing their best effort to change, I think I'm doing a disservice if I go back to them and realizing I probably have not forgiven them, or I'm probably not over the fact that they did me dirty, and them being in my presence is going to remind me of that. So that's why I'm like, I will not go back to that.
Can we talk about the red flags when a man doesn't want accountability though? Because for me, if a man doesn't even have to me, I think men should have male friends for accountability, and birds of a feather flock together. So if I see that,
you said that, so kind of just really please. So homeboy who beat on his girl, his baby mama, his friends were hiding him. Supposedly. So unfortunately, a lot of these men that are out here,
but that's what I'm saying, real accountability, not that fake shit, not that just whatever. I don't know what the hell they keep
I'm like, a lot of men are out here holding their friends accountable.
Real friends that's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? If nothing more, why you want to go to jail? Why you putting your hands on your daughter's or your son's mom? Like, I'm talking real. But this conversation is only for real adults. Because real men have accountability because they know they can't do it all on their own. Male friends males should have male friends to be like holding them to the standard that they should, like you should want to be your best self, male or female.
Yeah, 100%.
My friends hold me accountable. If I get triggered in my healthy relationship, I call my best friend and be like, girl, this is what happened. Here's the story. Here's the real story, not the he did da-da-da to me. Here's how I'm feeling. She's bringing me back to my regular self, being like, Keisha, you are wrong for that. Yeah. And then it's like, that's what you need in order, because it doesn't only take a village to raise children. It takes a village of your secured village to raise adults in good relationships.
I do that.
Right? And it's not like you're telling all your business, but you're like, I'm having this situation to someone that you trust.
Yes.
They don't have to be in a relationship, but at least someone that you can trust and that knows you enough to be like, no, girl, you're just triggered. Trust me. Just take a second and just realize that you're being triggered. Yeah. This man loves you. He respects you. Like, and that I need, because as a person that has a lot of trauma
that I have to work through,
you need someone to say, girl, you're just tripping, and it's okay. It's normal.
And not just saying it, not just say things to boost your ego because y'all are friends. Like, I've had friends that tell me like, you're wrong. I'm like, well, okay, but so I don't care. But they told me, even if I don't take the advice, but I know they said, well, P, you are wrong for that. I'm like, well, he should have never done that. But like,
at least give
and I also have a male friend that, you know, I'll go to him like, yo, I need the male perspective. Like, not saying that my female friends can't give me good advice, but I want to hear from his side. Like, okay, because we are not men. We can try to think like them and maneuver like them, but we are not them. And we are built differently. So that's why it's always good to always have the opposite sex as friends. And those that respect your relationship and your friendship too. And the person that you're with is secure enough with themselves that they don't feel intimidated by your male friend or your female friend.
Right.
You know, but my thing is just like, it's like,
I was gonna say
so
that happened to you because the one that I was in a toxic relationship did not like the whole opposite sex being friends.
He did, but he didn't have a problem with it, mostly because he was doing it. But I was genuinely being friends with these people, and he was
genuinely taking
just
advantage.
So I think with to slowly start to close off, like social media, it does have its good pinpoints. Like we get news information. I like, and another thing too with social media, I know a lot of times I think recently one celebrity has said, like, you know, when he hops on social media, he gets depressed. And some people wrote in the comments like, maybe you should go through the people you're following and start deleting. Because sometimes some of the people we're following are not adding positive light. It's always negative now.
And I don't care if I know you. I'm sorry.
So
I don't care.
If all you're posting is negative, like most of the pages I follow now are a lot of businesses, spiritual pages, pages about like therapy for black men and women, pages of beautiful black women, like darker tone than me, that are showing positive stuff, and I want to keep that on my timeline because, you know, we have society where colorism still exists, it didn't disappear. And then of course, for my little ratchet news, I'll have the shade room,
of course, so you got
and baller alert, like
of
course, like I'm not a prissy uptight person, like, but I will still like watch, like,
gotta get my
shade room deets, right? But if you feel like every time you hop online, all you see is negativity, unfollow that shit. It's a click of a button.
Literally,
just the same way you followed, you hit follow, you can hit unfollow. So that's why I feel like with social media, a lot of the times I tell people, you have that power. No one's telling you to have Snapchat, Facebook, or Instagram. You chose to log in. You can all easily log out and delete the whole damn
And you chose to follow these people. Unfollow them. I don't care if that's your cousin. Unfollow their negative ass.
Exactly.
If you can't handle it and it's going against you, you stop disrespecting yourself and unfollow them.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about social media is prioritizing yourself.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I need to do that.
Stop acting like it's everybody else's fault and it's your damn fault.
Exactly. I need to purge.
So like if
I'm hypersensitive to social media, I get on there, I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking exhausting.
Yeah. So like for me, it was a while ago. Like I went through my Instagram, scrolled all the way through every single name and deleted pages that were ghost accounts and deleted pages that
didn't even like your stuff. Can you imagine?
And then pages that weren't even like adding nothing positive. I'm like delete. Like even certain celebrities, there's some I do follow and there's some that I feel like you don't do anything. Unfollow. And then Facebook, like, I don't follow any celebrities, but like people who are never on there, people who have deleted their accounts, but some reason Facebook kept it. I deleted all that, cleared out my account for the longest. So I had people who had told me like, damn, you only have 500 people on your Facebook page after all these years. I'm like, yeah, because I don't follow people just to follow. Like,
agreed.
It's a personal page for me, so I don't want you there just to be there. So I've done that. My business pages are the pages that anybody can possibly follow because it's open, and that's the whole purpose of having a business page.
But I do the same thing for mine. I don't follow everybody on my business page.
No.
You're not clouding them. Listen, you're not gonna have my numbers high just to be looking.
Exactly. So I like that too. So I feel like a lot of things with social media, we have that power too. Like, we can't blame social media on everything because it's not real life.
Yeah. Nope.
It's not even fucking scripted.
It's not.
I choose what I post. Everyone that you follow, they choose to post and let you see and enter whatever space they want you to enter.
Agreed. So you need to respect.
So you have to understand, like, now, if I don't post for months on end, doesn't mean nothing's wrong with me. Maybe I needed a break. Yeah. And I've been living my life and I didn't want to fucking post anything. So it's like, that's the thing, because I have a close friend where sometimes, like, she'll post here and there, but sometimes she'll take a break and people automatically think something's wrong with her. She's like, this is the reason why y'all addicted to social media. Nothing has to be wrong in order for someone to step away from social media. Maybe I need a break. Maybe I'm, like, oversensitive with too much, like you said earlier, sensory overload. Like, that is a true thing. You're exposed to something too much and you want to take a break from it. So it's like, people think, and sometimes she'll have Instagram but won't post nothing. Right? She won't react to anything, won't like nothing, but she'll be scrolling through and people think something's wrong because they don't see her posting anything. And it's like, why? What happened to regular communication? Pick up the phone and call me. Text me, send me a text.
At least text me.
You know what I mean?
That's the least you can do.
That's the least you can do. But social media, again, like, I won't say it needs to go away because it's been a part of our lives for over 10 years now. But it's just how we, as individuals, how we navigate through it. If you feel like you need to take a break, take a break. And here's my thing. You don't gotta tell me you taking the fucking break.
No, you gotta make an announcement.
I'm sorry.
Just do it, please. Nobody.
No, the personal page. Don't tell me. Just
if it's a business page, sure.
Business page, I understand. Because, like, for me, I literally kind of not posted anything at all. So I did write on my story, like, hey, guys, I took a mental break.
And even then, click the link in the bio. Stop looking for the...
Yes. So I'm like, well, go ahead and look on my website. I'll be posting availability. Like, for my Patty page, I say my availability section will be updated. And Liz Body Utopia, I say, you know, you can still place your orders. I'm processing orders. I didn't stop that. It's just that I haven't been consistent with posting. But, like, the people be like, I'm taking a break from social media. Okay, take a break.
Okay, I know you want attention, though.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. People who really know you, your friends and family, are not checking for you on social media. They know to pick up the phone and call you. So you don't have to make that announcement that you're making a break. Because some of those people that say they take a break, and then the next day they're back on. What break was that?
24-hour break.
Literally.
I guess they need 24 hours.
Especially because you don't need to announce 24 hours.
No.
Just do it.
Just do it. Now, if you're really going to be gone for some months, I guess you can do that. Because some people, this is the only way they do communicate with them. Some people don't give out their phone numbers, which is fine. And I understand that. Right. But the whole going on the break and then they disappear for 2 hours and come back on. That's the shit that
kills. That kills me. Like, please get off. Listen, unfollow. Because you can't handle this.
You're doing the most right now.
Right.
But no, social media can be a beautiful thing. And it can be a nightmare at the same time, a gift and a curse. It's just all like how we navigate through it and how we use it as individuals. Some people use it for good and some people use it for evil. And that's what anything in life, like, anything that comes about, some people are naturally going to use it for good and others are going to use it for evil. So it's just like, you as an individual, you know you're a decent person, you're going to continue to do good. Yeah. And we just got to work on ourselves not to turn evil because we know the world is evil. Right.
I feel like the conclusion for me for social media is like, how about you just take a step and see where you are in life? Because honestly, no matter if it's social media or not, if you're not feeling good about yourself, it's just gonna be a magnifying glass.
Yes,
and that's it. Whether it's you feeling really good or you're feeling really crappy about yourself, like really just check in with yourself and feel where you are so you can portray the best you. I mean, if you want to portray the fake you, go for it. It's gonna get tiring. However, just check. Social media doesn't mean nothing, but it's not real life.
No, it's not.
We do see real life on it. That's what makes it hard.
Yes. To differentiate.
We do see real life. Like when they stormed the Capitol, I got home from work and I just got on and it was like every social media outlet. It literally made me cry. It just made me cry, and I was like, it made me so
It brought
sad.
me back to like 9/11 when I came home from like school, and I was just like,
oh my god,
it's
we
on
were in
every
the same
channel.
school when that happened. Could you imagine? Oh
We
my
all
god,
had
See,
It was
y'all
math
felt
for
it. Y'all
us.
felt differently. I was just like, as long as there's no black people.
No, I mean on the back end I was like that, but I was sad because I was like, if this was black people, everyone
all of us
would
would
have
have
been dead.
Not even. We wouldn't even get as close to that. We couldn't even look.
I
That
can't
way
even
without
believe.
getting shot.
Have y'all been to DC?
Yes.
Okay, I know you've been. Yes, because y'all went together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to where the White House is?
Yes.
Yes.
You see how high stressed it is?
Yes.
There's no way.
No fucking
No way.
Ain't no fucking
Just
way.
walking down. No, ain't no fucking way.
Ain't no fucking
Just
way.
walking down the street
Street
felt
is
like
like-
if you make the wrong move,
Yeah.
you
They
can
got
get shot.
snipers.
It was giving me.
You ain't gonna hear that bullet coming like
Exactly.
and
It's
done.
giving me real Iraq. Okay,
Yeah,
like
Squid Games. Like Bristol
Okay.
too hard.
So
No,
That's
literally,
what I'm
Squid
saying.
Games, like literally. That's why I was like, yo, this is why
Oh.
I said time and time again, social media has exposed us real life shit. Has
Yeah.
shown us time and time again. There's two different fucking Americas.
Yeah.
There's the black one and there's the white one.
Yeah.
There's the one with money too.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're black with money, you ain't getting that far either.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, like you mentioned, I'm glad you brought it up too. Like seeing that live and direct, and I was like, wait, every time I fucking turn around, there's something going on in this country.
Yeah.
The fuck? Every time I turn around, CNN is updating.
It's like it's almost embarrassing to say you're from America. It's like, where you from?
I just be like, I'm Asian.
I'm Haitian.
I'm
Oh, you know Barbados? Okay, yep. Be in other countries, like, yep, I'm Asian. But that makes me sad because here's the thing: I'm a first generation American.
Same,
This
same,
is my
same,
country.
same.
Oh, nothing in common.
Right?
Mhm.
Just
Right?
Exactly. No,
There's a special place for first generations.
because you a translator.
You are a translator, even though my people they speak English, but it's a translation of the
Broken
culture.
language,
Yeah.
But it's like I had to learn. I learned how to be black from TV.
Yeah.
I learned how to be a
Same.
black Lakeisha from the black sitcoms that I saw,
Yes.
Martin, all of those. So like
Yep.
you get a mix of like how I'm
Mhm.
black,
Yeah.
but it's like
It's a lot going on right
it's
now.
a lot going on. But if
Ghetto.
you have a hard time having boundaries in real life, you damn for sure gonna have a hard time having boundaries on
On
social media.
Yeah. And social media.
So how about I feel like I wish everybody could take a pause the way you do when you heal from a relationship.
Mhm.
Take a pause and heal.
A lot of
from
people don't even do that because
I
people are
know,
like,
so
"Oh my god,
true.
you've been single for a year." I'm like, that is totally
Listen,
okay.
I didn't even expect to
process.
get in a relationship. I was minding my business, thinking like, okay,
minding my whole
I want to be single for 2 years, and then I met my boyfriend, and it was like,
I can't.
oh
God
wow,
has a plan for you,
he
honey.
did, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But I was like, I did want to be single because I was like, I want to get to know myself. Damn it.
Yeah, 100%.
But take time to know who you are and what do you want to post, how you want to post. Like, stop this fake stuff. It makes me feel sad for people.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the position.
Yeah.
But you letting social media run your life, run you into debt. All the
Ooh,
stories I
child.
heard, people ran into debt over just flashy.
Trying to be. Who the fuck you impressing? Because I'm now with the algorithm, I might not ever see the fucking
Right?
post anyway. So
Yeah.
You got a Range Rover just so 3 people could see.
Yeah. That's why I was telling you about this apartment. I was like, well, nobody comes here, so just use the space. Just
Yep.
use it.
That's it.
any closing arguments for you, ma'am?
Yes.
This was an amazing conversation. It was
was.
needed. I'm happy that you're on. You
Yes,
came. I'm so
I'm
happy.
happy
You
to
know
be
what? It was
here.
divine timing too, because like
Yeah.
I know we scheduled you for a different date and it didn't work out that way. But I think today was the day that you should have been here
I agree.
and contributed to the conversation and just bring your energy. And this is fucking dope. I'm excited. I'm excited to even watch back on this and
Me
just
too.
be like
I
laughing.
cannot wait.
Exactly. I mean, granted, if you want to listen to the audio, you're only gonna get like half of this shit. But you just jump onto YouTube. Just come over.
Come over.
And I also want to mention, because we don't mention this on any of our videos, but please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Share. Thank you. A lot of people have. Exactly. A lot of people have been sharing.
I'll be
and I
sharing everything
appreciate-
else. Share this.
Share this.
Mhm.
Dumb.
Share something healthy.
So,
Exactly.
like we like to do every single episode, we like to shout out businesses, and
Ooh, yes.
you are the business we're shouting out. this
exactly. So
So we're
shout
shouting
yourself out, girl.
time. Grace Clean Co. So on IG is
Yep.
Girl, let her shout her shit.
CLEAN.co.
I be tripping the last.
Sorry,
And her website, she has a website, graceclean.co.
Same as the social media. Too easy. It's too easy.
Too easy.
Yeah.
And she's the owner of the business.
She
Cleans
love that
my,
shit.
actually,
Yeah.
I am a customer. She cleans my parents' home for me every other month. So you can set up literally.
Yeah.
schedule,
How you
right?
want the
Yeah.
How you want
occurrence
to
to
go.
be.
How
Yeah.
you
So,
want to occur, yeah.
It's you started cleaning April of this year. Because I was like, I couldn't take it no more cleaning my parents' house. I'm like, this is too much cleaning my house and then their house. So I put her on a schedule like bi-monthly, every other month.
Yep.
She'll come in and clean, but I'll let her know like, okay, like let's alternate between the living room and the dining room and stuff.
And thank you for being a black woman that says yes to help. Because I'm trying to get our culture
People
to
do not do
understand. Just
It's
because
hard
our
for
mama's
Haitians.
clean.
They don't use
I was
dishwashers.
no. They like wash the dishes and put the dishes in the dishwasher like
That is not
to
so
dry.
true.
To dry.
I love my West Indians though.
Yeah,
I love my
it's
foreigners because I'm a product of that.
Yeah.
But thank you. We need to say yes to help because just because our mamas and daddies did everything doesn't mean we need to do that. If they could have got help, they probably would have.
Yes.
100%.
We have resources now that they didn't have back then. I mean, dishwashers have been out for a while, but you know, in Haiti, they don't, unless you're well off and you have the money, you do not have a dishwasher in your home.
Yeah.
You are washing bare hands. You're washing
Right.
clothes with your bare hands
Right.
and stuff. So to have that luxury in the sense that I have the means, I can afford it. Let me do that for my kids. Because
something
when
off
I don't
their
live there
plate,
anymore, let me cough it up the money.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm gonna spend $200-300 on shoes and other stuff, I can do that for them.
Yeah.
She comes in and
really
clean
kind.
every other month, and you know Haitians are very nitpicky.
I was nervous the first time.
I would
will
have
tell
been
you
nervous
that.
as fuck to
I
clean her
will let
face.
y'all know I was nervous because I know my people. I know Islanders, and I'm like, oh, I hope I do a good job. That's why I was there for a long time the first time because I'm like, okay, what would my
Because
parents
Haitian will
say?
look in that corner. She didn't do
that. But when your mom told me I did a good job, I went and I was like,
yeah. When she
I called my
said-
boyfriend like, cause he's Haitian. I was like, I did a good job. Her mom was happy.
Yep, I called my mom like, did you like it? Did she do a good job? Because either I would have still liked the work, but you know Haitians they she
So that you
forgot
can
that
articulate
dust.
that to her too. Like,
Yeah, so when she told me, oh no, I love it,
was
and
my
then she left me
biggest
a little
concern.
cookie. I was like, oh okay. So I hit her up to say, like, yo, my mother likes the job that you did because I was actually nervous because I'm like, I know I would have liked the work regardless, but older Haitians, we know foreigners, they're like nitpicking, like there's a spot right there. She didn't do a good job. Like,
listen,
why?
I remember, and I don't mean to sidetrack, but I remember when growing up, my older sister she's a very clean person. My cleanliness comes from her.
Yes.
So she would tell me to go clean the bathroom, right? And some kids, they bullshit, and the parents get tired of like telling them to fix it, so they'll just do it. So I thought that shit was gonna work with my sister. She was like, no, bitch, you're gonna do that shit 101 times. So there was one time I cleaned the bathroom, and I guess I didn't clean the bottom of the toilet. Mind you, I'm 10 years old.
You gotta do the basics.
She's like, you see the crumbs on the floor? Pick it up. Clean it. That's not clean. This bathroom's not clean. Clean it over. There was one time I did dishes. My mother dumped all the dishes back in the sink and told me to rewash them. Because you're not about to half-ass shit in the house. Like, do it the right way, or you're gonna have to keep doing it again and again. So I can only imagine the fear you had walking into the house.
That's good game for her. Cleaning my parents' house.
So, but it was good. It went well. But I made sure I was like, and I do it every time. I make sure it was all me. But the first time I was like, I was on my way there, and I was talking to my boyfriend. Like, I just hope that I get every place that I feel like they would see because I really don't want. Like, I really wasn't.
No, you did good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, yes, guys. So we have a luxury service in a sense.
Yes.
Black-owned business.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yes,
even if you don't have a schedule set up with her, at least once.
Yeah.
You know, the New Year's is coming up. You know, where black people are gonna clean the whole damn house.
You gotta clean for the New Year. You know you gotta clean for the New
spirits
Year.
out, the bad energy out.
It's a reset.
Yeah. So, you know, here's the person you can book and hire for cleaning. Just don't book her all the way through December because that's my month. That's all I'm saying. But yes,
we just hire people, so we got some flexibility.
Oh yes, perfect. So
she's
hired assistants, she's hiring people, so the business is expanding, y'all. So that's perfect. So definitely hit her up. So we always also end our episodes with a quote. We try to make sure the quote relates to our topic. So for this week, since we have social media, the quote says, "For social media, don't use it to impress people. Use it to impact people."
Come on.
Yes.
Who's that by?
We don't know.
We just found it. But peace, y'all. See y'all next episode.